well. Look at that. Typical Craig.
Here comes Payet. Oh my word! Absolutely magnificent. Payet. Wait! He rose so high! He touched the sky! Two on down! 3-2 up! It's meant to be! It's surely meant to be! It's Harrison Road!
Be a long night. Paquetá, he's played it through, and now it's in. It's up for grabs now. He's done it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Ham Review. And as you can see, I'm joined by, what can I think of today? The posthumous Budgie. Don't know if it makes a word or not, but we think of something.
We're fucking making words up as we go along here, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Love it. Yeah, excellent.
How are we, mate?
I'm all right, thanks, Tone. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good. Now, pleased that, say the project I've been on for the last 2 months is finally in fruition. It's working.
Oh,
Couple of
good.
days, and now I can relax a little bit now and get myself out there. So that's good at least. It's been a while, but I'm here. Right, as always, let's say hello to the people first of all. And first one I've got on there is good evening to JB Irons. Big out to you, mate. And of course, there's James from E Joining Zone. Send me the link, Tone. I'll try and get on. I'll get that organised in a minute. And we was having a bit of issues just a minute ago, so I'll get it as soon as possible. Big up to Matty as well. Big up Tony and Budgie. And obviously, good evening to usual. Good evening all.
Bear with me while I just readjust my microphone stand a little bit because it's.
Catch up with the old chat. Good evening, Mama. Have you well? Evening, Tom and Budgie. And we should say hello to everyone else. Good evening, Brendan. Hope you're well, mate. Evening, Tom, Budgie, Matt F, Mama Flossie, as usual. And the same way that. Aces, good evening as well, mate. Good to have you with us. Sound like that. You're very muffled, Tom. How about that? If I take that away a little bit, tell me if that's any different. Hopefully that'll work a bit better. If not, I'll have to change my headphones over.
Yeah, I thought you were a bit muffled, but I thought that was because of the issues I was experiencing. But clearly, everybody else is hearing the same.
Sure. It could be that. We had the same. I think we had the problem last week, didn't we? But it's the same like you, Budgie, as well. To the you sound like it underwater. Let us know if I sound any different. I mean, hopefully it's not so bad. If not, I'll change over. No, as Matt, I've seen that. Matt saying big up Tony and Budgie. What's happening? This chat jumps all over the shop. Matt's also saying it like sounds like you're in a tunnel. Snap. Are you in a wardrobe? Even you're in a wardrobe, yeah, and underwater sounds. Right, bear with me. I'm just going to put myself off a moment, and I shall see if I can change that. Bear with me, mate.
Okie dokie. And in the meantime, we'll talk about the abomination that was the game on Sunday. Wow, what can I say about that? Other than we got what we deserved, really. I just felt that we didn't have much of a desire to win the game. And I think, yeah, we got what we deserved. Just see who else is in the chat, everybody I won't be able to bring the things up on screen, unfortunately, but I will be able to see who's in there. So let's say hi to everybody. Brendan and Aces and Mama Flossie. Who else we got? Usual. Pepsi, good evening to you. Steve, West Ham United Bell, good evening to you, sir. Matt Foster, good evening to you. Who else have we got? I think that's it for those in the chat at the moment. And Tony's back.
How does that sound? Is that better?
Oh, mate, you sound like a new man.
Shame I don't feel like it, but
Well, you know, it's
so,
when the wife says she feels like a new man, you got to worry.
or Bernard. Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Steve Bill. Evening, all. He's saying. Big up to there. We'll say like the chat, which is always nice to see.
Yeah.
Matt, say like each other. Steve saying crystal clear tone. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Then I think it's the fixing. We'll have to have a look at the wiring again. Good stuff. Yeah, so I heard you just saying about the game on Sunday, and
Yeah.
that's why if you look at the title and the chat, it's all about Potternomics again. Let's bring this man on as well, Budge, because obviously
Okay, mate.
we know him from another channel. He was on with that, and he was on CMB, but we really know him as this man from that West Ham channel.
Good evening to you both, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, I suppose.
Good evening, Jay. Well, I'm in the same place in the world as Tone. So, where are you? You look like you're in somewhere very tropical.
Costa del Sol at the minute. Well, at the minute that's where I live, basically out here. So it's a beautiful evening. So I thought I'd get myself outside and join you two wonderful gentlemen.
Well, it's very kind of you, mate. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Shout out to anyone that's in chat. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm assuming we're live and everything at the minute. We hello to everyone in chat and yeah. Budge, I just want to say, Budge, it's an honour to be on with you, bruv. Ton, not as honourable because I've been with you a few times.
Yeah.
But Budge, absolute honour, mate. I love the stuff you're doing. I love the old school and stuff. Brilliant.
Thank you. That's really kind of you to say, mate. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. And I'll pass that on to Kieran. You never know, he might even turn up later. You never know.
True. We're looking forward to that whenever he does. Sounds like a line. Okay, usual.
Evening, Steve.
Evening, Jay. Brendan, catch you soon, mate. See you all later. Mama saying hello as well. And been a long time for me now. He's saying there as well. Goodbye to Togs. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so, Potternomics at his best on Sunday. It was the last game, the home game of the season, and he played obviously the likes of Kufau, he played Cresswell, but I think he missed a trick myself. I don't know if you guys feel like it, that he missed a trick not starting with Fabianski. What's your views on that?
Yeah. I'll go on, Jay. You go first, mate.
I'll be honest with you. To not even give him a half, I feel was a real letdown. Because Fabianski, it's funny, I was talking on the show I did earlier. Shout out to Kez, my lovely co-host, by the way. But we was talking about Souček being someone who proper gets West Ham. Fabianski is someone who proper gets West Ham. And that, at the minute, in our current squad, is a dying breed. So the fact that he wasn't even given a half to clap him off and just to celebrate what a wonderful servant he was, I think was dreadful. If I'm being completely honest, I think was absolutely dreadful.
I agree completely. I agree. I also want to add to that in the 11 years that he's been a servant of this club, he's also been a servant of the local community as well. He's always put himself out there doing, the hospital visits and, the meet and greets and stuff like that. He's always been up for it. He's always been one to, put himself on the line and have piss taken out of him on these, these competitions they run on the West Ham official site on YouTube and that, and Fabianski has been brilliant throughout. He's always had a smile on his face. He's been a fantastic keeper, and I'm going to miss him. I just hope he comes back in some capacity to the club, because I think we'd miss a trick if he don't, And yeah, I agree. It was shocking that he didn't get any minutes on Sunday. Shocking.
Thing is, I just want to chip in, Budge. The stuff that you've mentioned as well, for me, like I'm a big advocate for the West Ham way, and I always say the West Ham way ain't just what's on the pitch. It's what you just described about Fabianski, the hospital visits, the community involvement. Like that is dying off. And people like that, to be honest, to certain people that he's gone and visited in hospital, just that few minutes of his time to them is probably more important to watching him for 11 years between the sticks for us. Do you know, it's these little things that make such a big difference. And considering Potter is the guy that's in tune with what's going on at West Ham, Tone, you hit the nail on the head. Is it that he missed the trick, or did he? You know what? The only other thing it could be that he turned his nose up at it, because he must have considered it. He must have thought, if he's putting out Cresswell, he's putting out Sue Fowl, who, by the way, have already had a couple of send-offs. They'd had a couple of games prior to that one. I know this one was the last home game. The fact that he didn't factor that in, just give him 20 minutes. Give him something to say thank you. I don't want to lose me about it. But it's little things like that. I think, don't get me wrong, if Hoolan had done it, I would have said, you know what? You know, he's not English. He don't really get... Potter's got no excuse. He tells us all the time about he knows what West Ham fans are all about. He calls us the family. He calls us the community. He calls us knowledgeable. He says all that fluffy pillar stuff. And then on something so simple, I don't know, mate. Yeah. Anyway.
Royally messed up completely, you know.
I mean, I was like, you know, I mean, you said it, Budge, and I've said it a few times myself already on other streams I've done. For me, I think Fabianski, if anything, make him goalkeeping coach. I think that would be a fitting tribute.
Bang on.
You know, because at the end of the day, he understands the club. He's been there long enough. He knows what it's all about. And you know, it's that's how we did with players, isn't it? If they didn't do it, once they finished, we either took them as you know, in the coaching role, or you know, an ambassador, at least one of the two. But I think he needs a bit. I think he deserves a bit more than that. Especially if we get rid of the other fellows currently doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, on top of everything else, you know, with the fact that Cressy, he's been there 16 years, is it, or
something like that?
Yeah, 16 years or whatever. You know, that guy, at the moment he stepped into the club and put the kit on, really got the West Ham way, you know. And he also, you know, he put himself out there in the community and that as well a lot, you know. So just wanted to acknowledge that as well. And it's a sad day that all of them, including Danny Ings, I mean, come on, it ain't his fault that he's turned out to be a poor signing, because he doesn't fit any of the systems that we played, you know. And that's really unfortunate for Danny Ings. We know the quality of the guy. We've suffered at his feet or whatever, you know, many times in the past. So, you know, just acknowledge the fact that he held his head high and kept his dignity while he was being buggered about by the club, really, to be fair. You know,
Bang on.
say that too.
Bang on.
Yeah. What's usual saying? Sorry, not the one. It was this one, wasn't it? Matt's saying maybe Fab will play on Sunday. Well, it'd be a nice one if we give him a run out. Especially after the howler we saw from Areola on Sunday. I mean, that's basics. That's basically you get taught as a kid. And I don't know, maybe you need to go to Specsavers, make sure he's not colourblind, because you know,
giving goals
away. Sorry, go on, Budge.
No, I'm just saying, giving goals away is not really the way to, you know, enamour yourself with the fans, is it? Let's be fair.
You've got to ask yourself why someone that, if us West Ham fans have known since the start of his career with West Ham, that Areola is fantastic as a shot stopper. He's got an amazing throw distribution, but shit with his feet. How come all these years later, why is he even thinking to do what he tried to do there? Because he's been asked to play that way. He's been asked to do something he's not comfortable doing. That does not excuse that he wasn't able to make that pass. But what happened was, you saw it, there was a split second, and that's all it is in football, where he thought about it. And there was that instant froze, and it wasn't a clean connection. It wasn't like it was someone who was indecisive. Now, as a keeper, thing is, in midfield, you get away with it. You got another midfield, you got a defence behind you. But obviously, as we know, in goal, it's the line and the net behind you, which is what was found. So for me, I just think I don't want to put everything at Potter's door, but know your tools. If you're a tradesman, you know how to use your tools, right? Use your tools correctly and don't ask them to be another tool. Otherwise, they end up looking like a fucking tool, which is what happened with him.
Because for me, you know, that was the worst part. It wasn't just that split second, Jay. It was the fact he actually looked up and he looked out towards the 18-yard box in there, and then he decides to. You know, you think to yourself, what's that, at that moment of madness? What the hell was going for your head, mate? But the other thing you've got to look at in that respect as well, the outfield players, the defenders, midfielders, and that again slow to react to things, and should never got the shot off in the first place. But fair play to Forest. I mean, you know, they needed the win. They was desperate to get that win. It would have been nice for us to get the win last home game for the fans at least.
I don't think many of us expected a win.
No,
We hoped for one, and we thought that perhaps we might be able to pull one out of the bag. But I don't think many of us expected it, especially with the fact that, you know, Forest have been flirting with the top four for the last few months, you know. But to give them the game, to gift 2 goals is unforgivable, you know, especially at this level. You know, if this was a Carabao Cup game against someone like Shrewsbury or something, and you did something like that, you could be forgiven for underestimating your opponents, etc., etc. But at this level, it's unforgivable.
Yeah.
You know.
You're in a cafe, Jay. There's a lot of background noise I can hear.
Oh, sorry, is there? Sorry, yeah, I've had to do it outside. I'll go on mute whilst the chats are going on. Sorry, Beep. Or if I do that, is that any better?
Yeah, it's kind of quieting down now. You can hear it every now and then, but it's fine, mate. It's fine. Usual saying would be nice to make Fab captain on Sunday. Would be a bear shout.
Yeah.
I think he owes it to him, to be fair, because, but to be honest, it would be quite annoying in one way if he did play him on Sunday, because you'd think, why wouldn't you put him in front of us? Like, if you're going to send him off, do it in front of the people that have cheered his name. And, you know, it's some of the stuff he's pulled off over the last 11 years in regard. I know we talk about Ariola as a shot stopper, but let's have it right. Fabianski's been fantastic.
He has at that. And I like the fact that Fabianski's ability to read the game helps him to make these goalkeeping decisions. You know, he's quite a clever guy. He watches the play. You know, I mean, clearly you guys have been in the stadium. You know, if you've ever watched Fabianski while the other team are in possession of the ball, he orchestrates his defence every time. You know, and I just like the way he can command that box. And then when he does that, you know, we kind of play a little more sure-footedly at the back and stuff. So I think that will be invaluable to get him back into the club as a goalkeeping and maybe even a defensive coach. You know, I mean, I don't know really how good he would be at defensive coaching, but he knows what it's like to be behind a defence, good or bad. So, you know.
That's Budge, bang on, mate. That's all he's looked at his whole career. His first line of vision is going to be whoever was in front of him. And you're so right. He instills confidence. He's one of them goalies, you know.
Matt's saying Cresswell's been at West Ham for about 11 years.
Oh, 11.
I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah,
I did longer than that.
I did too.
He's been around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I kind of recall somebody saying he came in at around about the same time. But
I think what was good. I don't know if you've seen them. Is the little clips, the little video clips they're done with Kufel, Cresswell, and Fabianski talking about their time at West Ham and buying into the West Ham way. I think that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
To see that at least.
Yeah.
We can get things right sometimes.
I agree, and you know, I've also found I commented on a post from Talksport. Not that I do that for very often, but there was just a post about Sofal leaving. There was a picture of him and his missus and I just commented saying that, as far as I'm concerned, he's given us the 5 best years of his career. He's helped us to win, certain trophy and, 8th place or better finishes 3 years in a row, etc., etc. And, I felt that, I said that, he's given us 5 best years of his career. Thank him for that, and he's always welcome back as a fan in amongst the family anywhere in the stadium because he'll be well received. And I've got to be honest with you, the responses and the reactions to my comment have been quite heartwarming. To be fair,
That's nice.
I didn't realise that Sofal was quite so popular with the fans that don't get onto these YouTube channels very often or whatever. They're kind of TalkSport fans, if you like. And so it was quite nice to see that there was quite a lot of support for that sentiment. And I think that it's a testament to the player and a testament to the club and especially a testament to the fans that a guy from afar, from a foreign country, can be so well received, really gets what it means to wear that shirt, and like I said, I think that a majority of fans would welcome him back at the stadium. I don't think anybody would object to him coming back. You know what I mean? As a fan, I really don't.
No, and I suppose the good thing about it as well, his lads signed for West Ham as well now, and so
That's right. Yeah.
we've still got a Kufel in the ranks, so he's not exactly gone, has he? So that's good in that respect. So long may that continue. Matt's put in Anana's howler last night was put too. I mean, obviously he had Fuzzy on last night. He was hysterical. I think he's doing a stream tonight and kind of laying it on the line. But when you look at the fact of Luke Shaw, they're giving it to Johnson. I don't think he touched the ball. It looked to me like it came up with Luke Shaw. And Arnold's covered his post first of all. He's come away from it. By the time he's reacted, it was too late. And yeah.
I think it was actually a back heel from Brendan Johnson, wasn't it?
I don't know if he made contact though, Buzz, because looking at the replay again, if he does, it's minimal. It is minimal because literally, it was going nowhere. It then cannons off of Luke Shaw and then into Johnson's kind of path, and then it's one of those. Did he not? But hey, it doesn't matter, does it? They won.
Does it?
They won it 1-0, and
yeah,
that's that.
Yeah, and I suppose we should acknowledge the fact that Spurs are still shit.
Yeah, things never get old, Budgie. That's one of them, mate.
The gift that keep on giving. One of the worst European games I've ever watched.
Oh,
wasn't it? It was terrible.
Between two teams I never wanted to see in it, But yeah, fair play to them though. They both got there, and fair play to the white side of North London. They've taken the trophy and they've brought it back to the main city in the country. So, I suppose we should be grateful for that.
Yeah, we take that. It's back in London for a change. Big up to Niall Kane. Good to see you, Niall. Hope you're well. Matt saying, why wasn't Rodriguez looking at Areola expecting the pass? Slow to react, Matt. Like I said, this is the problem with most of our players this season. They've been slow to react. That's why teams have managed to kind of outpace us, outplay us, outdefend us. Aerial challenges, they beat us on that. It's just we're just slow off the foot. That's the worst part about it. And I think that's the infuriating part for me, because we know full well there's some players in there that can put these challenges and win balls, but half measures. That's all I see it as. I don't know if you've used to have got an opinion on that yourselves.
Well, for me, it goes to what Budge has just articulated about Sofal. The problem is with West Ham at the minute, we haven't got enough West Ham within West Ham. Sofal's West Ham. Souček, as much as I can't stand him starting in the first 11, he's West Ham. Bowen's West Ham. But I said this earlier, other than that, Who else in that starting 11 is West Ham? Because Cresswell's not in that starting 11. Fabianski ain't in that starting 11. I don't think Alfonso gets West Ham like Fabi. I don't think, there's even a difference there. So the problem is now is the heart and soul of West Ham has just been ripped out of it. And now we're seeing the repercussions, just like any other business, where you got something at the helm of the business that actually isn't really in love with the business, and it filters down. Because what we're now seeing, and it's going to get worse next season, people. I'm sorry to say this, for a job, I have to be positive about West Ham, which used to be my release. I'm fucking negative as realistic as I can be at the minute, because what we're going to see next season is going to be worse than what we've seen this season, in my opinion. There's nothing to suggest that this whole overhaul, first of all, an overhaul, you need things to go in two ways. At the minute, all we know for definite is there's an exodus. There's players going. In regards to what's coming in, who's going to look at us and go, "What, I fancy a bit of that"? Who's their manager? Graham Potter. How did he go? Yeah, I fancy a bit of that. Oh, how many goal days got? Because let's face it, people, what we need more than anything is an attacking impetus at this point, because that's where we've severely lacked under Potter. We've had nothing going forward. All this shot up the defence malarkey, fair enough, but we've had nothing going forward. So logic suggests that what we're going to be looking for in the transfer market is attack-minded players. Now that we've got this extra European league, what worth their weight in gold attack-minded player is going to look at West Ham and go, "Where'd they finish? Oh yeah, go on, Mr. Agent, I'll have a bit of that." No chance. And the reason is, at its core, is because we're so far away from what West Ham, the West Ham way, and everything else about West Ham actually was, that, I don't know, maybe we're just old and maybe we don't get it, and maybe this is the evolution of football and something's going to change. But for 44 years of being a West Ham fan, I've never been as concerned about the most basic things about our club in regards to our identity. It's gone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. And to add to it, you mentioned, the core of what is West Ham is left, and I would even add, and I know I'm going back with, and believe me, I'm not a fanboy, but I would even add Danny Ings to that, because he kind of got it the moment he walked through the door anyway. He does with whatever club he goes to, he settles in. And even with him going as well, that little bit of, West Ham that he picked up, that's gone as well. We've got players, as you rightly mentioned, Jay, Jared Bowen, he certainly gets it, and by being the captain, I think he kind of thrives on it, the fact that he does get it and that we all get him. And I don't think that he would be as prolific, is that the word I'm looking for, if he was with another club, because I really don't think he would settle as well as he has here. I mean, let's face it, he's become one of our own, hasn't he? Let's be honest. He's got himself a lovely woman, who happens to be the daughter of a very famous West Ham fan, very staunch West Ham fan. And, because of that reason, I mean, not many of us had much love for young Danny before Jared Bowen started dating her. Even his song would indicate that we didn't have very much regard for her. do you know what I mean? But now,
what song's that, Budge? Can you give us a rendition?
Maybe when I've had a couple of lagers, Jay. But I mean, he gets it, and I think also, like I said, not many of us really had too much time for young Danny before Jared started dating her. But I bet you any money you like now, 95% of West Ham fans would stand up for her if they saw her in trouble somewhere.
That's
because they're one of your own. They're one of us. The Dyers are one of us. And it just sort of works out that way. Any one of us would help a fellow West Ham fan if we had the capacity or the ability to do so. You know, more
True.
so than we would maybe a Chelsea or Tottenham fan.
Big up Adama, good to see you in there. Ladies, he's saying there. Matt's also saying Granny Dings didn't do a farewell video. No, because he's doing it for Regain and Alsapin and people like that.
He's doing a welcome back to Southampton video, I expect.
Oh man. Good evening to Words and Pictures as well. Evening, Tony, Budgie, Jay, and everyone. Good to be here with you all. Good to have you here as well, Words and Pictures. Thank you very
Good
much.
evening, WP.
Matt saying like we're all them. And as always, it's always nice. Everyone saying like to each other. That's what we're all about as West Ham. Pepsi says, all of a sudden I want to listen to some music from Happy Mondays. Yeah, Pepsi, keep the afro instead. That'll do. Usual step on awesome song. There you go. Look there as well. Good evening to as well. Epic Hash Time. Good to see you. We'll have Potts and Earthy in the squad next season. They're all West Ham through and through. That'd be a nice shot. I mean, I don't know. Is Earthy one that should come back, or should he be loaned out for another season?
I think Earthy needs a little bit more time out on periphery. You know, as good as a player as he has been, and he is, I still don't think he's quite mature enough. I think, having watched Ollie Scholes' Ironcast video the other day, the interview, having watched that, you can tell he's a young lad. You can tell this is all very much, he's kind of in awe of it all, but he's mature enough to be able to deal with it in the right way, with a kind of a professional approach. And I just think that Earthy lacks that little bit of maturity that Potts and Scholes have. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Earthy is a great lad, but I don't think he's quite ready for first team yet.
I mean, Anthony's before Jay's comment on. I mean, Anthony's open that if he is going to be loaned out, that he goes back to Bristol City because he's done really well for them there. Had a slow start, but he got into it as the season went on. Yeah. I mean, Jay, what's your kind of view on that?
So I've always been like, my favourite memories as a West Ham fan, bar none, has always been that announcement of one of our own is getting their debut. Like, I've always been like it. Even now, at 44 years old, when Scholes got his debut, I was sitting there thinking, maybe me one day. Like, it always gave you that attachment of the Academy of Football and everything else. So, for me, Potts, there's no way anyone can tell me with our current midfield, Potts would be any worse than. I refuse that. I refuse. So go on, Budge.
No, I was going to say, you're completely right. He's an improvement on everything we've got in midfield right now.
And as someone said in the chat, he's West Ham through and through. His dad's West Ham. Potts for me next season, he's vital because of that element of the whole backstory for, what is yet again a divided fan base. We still are the best fans in the world, bar none. I don't care. But we have gone through these last 4 or 5 years of the most nasty, malicious divide I've ever experienced. And I truly feel Potts, someone like that, with all the other shit that's going on, he gives you that unification of what we're all about as West Ham. So for me, if Potts don't get a look in and don't definitely not get mistreated like Scholes has got mistreated since the last, he had a couple of ropey-ish games, and then from the minute we're mathematically safe, he gets fucking lodged from the team. Makes no sense. So as long as Potts gets a run out, I think he'll be fine. He's been playing grown man football. He's big enough, he's tough enough, put him in. Earthy, I'm with you, Budge, because the thing is, Earthy, am I right in saying my impression of Earthy is more that central midfielder, slightly attacking though? He's got that about him, hasn't he? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So him coming in at the minute, the pressure would be really a lot for him to deal with, because that's an area you got to think the spot's walking out the door. Paqueta's going. Caduce's going. You know, so for him to come in, there would be so much pressure on his shoulders, and I still think he needs big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill in an area where we are severely struggling. So I think to bring, let's put it this way, I'd put Potts in with Earthy. I personally wouldn't loan him out. I'd have him back around the team. I'd have him in the cups. I'd have him in the cup runs. I'd put him in there because at the end of the day, at some point, these kids aren't kids anymore, because how comes kids for other teams are in their first team at 18, 19 years old, and we've had one of the best academies in Europe for the last 5 years at least. So if it's working for them, at some point, the big boy pants have got to be put on. I don't think you should overwhelm them, but there's got to be a nurturing process. We can't keep falling short. The last youth product that actually went through, we ended up getting 105 million for it. So clearly it can be done. But I'm with you. I wouldn't stick Earthy in, but Potts all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Potts, I mean, the good thing about him, he went to Wickham, smashed it out of the park. He's gone to Portsmouth, smashed it out of the park. So he's gained immense experience from going from just them two clubs alone.
And both of those clubs wanted a permanent deal for him.
Exactly. So that kind of tells you something, you know. I mean, funny enough, I know we've got a couple of Arsenal guys in here. I always say about Odegaard, if he was that good for Real Madrid and he got loaned out left, right, and the centre, if he was that good, then why didn't them other clubs he was loaned out to want to sign him? Because I didn't hear one club saying, we're going to sign that kid. Not one. And,
I'd still take him in an heartbeat, though, bruv.
Not for me, Jay. Nah.
I would.
He kills games. He's too much. I wouldn't say he's tactical. I'll say tactically inept, because he kills games with his back heel flick shit that don't pay off. He tries tick-tack the football, which doesn't pay off, only here and there. And I love why an Arsenal fan is saying he's bang average, because that's the way I see him. That's the way I see him, but that's my opinion at the end of the day. People have got other opinions, and everyone's entitled, as they say, freedom of speech. But no, for me, no, I wouldn't take Odegaard.
Well, you see, Tone, normally I would agree with you on everything you just said. However, I do believe that Odegaard is now looking at Declan Rice going, there goes my story. It's now going to be taken over by him. I need to find myself a new home where I can grow, because he's a capable player. I'm not suggesting that I would have him at West Ham, but I think if he ended up at a decent team, maybe not even. Let's say, if for argument's sake he ended up at Newcastle, I think he would shine there. You know.
Yeah, that bit I get. Yeah, I could get that. I think from us, I don't think he would buy that away.
He's very overwhelmed at Arsenal by other players that are in favour, and stuff like that. So and you don't go and pay 105 million for a player who plays the same position as Odegaard if you're not going to play him, and over the player that cost you, what was it, 51 million they paid for Odegaard or something, wasn't it?
I think it was about 50 million. I think they paid.
Yeah, about 51 with the add-ons, wasn't it?
Bit much for that one. But
it was a lot of money, but he could be a lot of player under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
I really do believe that.
Just going to look at words and pictures. He says Jay looks like he's holding an imaginary microphone, and then.
But is it helping kill the noise though in the background when I'm holding it?
Still hear him every now and then. I think
it really don't matter. You're in Spain, Jay.
Exactly. Well,
let's all enjoy it.
I don't know about that, Budge, because the old Bill went past and that, and Jay looked a bit suspicious, looked a bit nervous over his shoulder.
Mate, did you clock that? I thought I was back in Forest Gate. I was thinking, what do I do? Oh no! No, I've moved on. I'm Jay, the soul coach now.
I was going to say, I thought we were going to see him bolt over the old wall there behind him.
Mate, I was checking my pockets.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Forest Gate, eh?
Usual saying, Paqueta loves a bit and a bit of ducking and diving. He's a proper West Ham and all. This is
I like that.
Yeah.
good evening.
Much in
Phil.
the mould of Harry, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Ducking and diving, dodging and weaving. Evening, Terence. Evening, gents. He's saying there. And good evening to Sharky. Sharky's saying, got to see them win yesterday. Southend, that is. Up the Shrimpers. He's happy, very happy man. And good evening to Ray. Good to see you as well, Ray. Good evening, Tony, Budgie, and all.
Good evening, mate.
Sharky, well pleased. Yeah, I mean, they come
Right,
back to win that. Again, saying hello to there. And there you go. June the 1st, Southend versus Oldham.
Love it.
Terence is saying Potts is going to be for us what Kudos promised to be. Get one when we can for Kudos. Don't want to be there. Get a keeper and someone up front. So good shout.
Well, actually, you know, I think Potts is going to be the next player we are all going to revere in the way, and let's be honest, we still do. Declan Rice, you know, he came on so well, you know, in our academy. He got his first team place, and he grew, and we got a really large amount of money for him. And I think Potts is the next one in line for that kind of progression. I don't know that he would be so willing to leave, but I think Potts is a potential future captain, if I'm honest.
That would be amazing. I'd love that. What a story that would be.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, his old man would be chuffed to pieces if that was the case. Pepsi saying, no disrespect, Tony, but you'll take any Arsenal player at West Ham and the dog too. Unfortunately, in my opinions on some of the Arsenal players, Pepsi, there are some good players there, don't get me wrong. There's quite a few players that I would not take at all, but that's me. But I'm looking at it from my managerial head with players I've coached over the years. And unfortunately, some of the players you've got, I wouldn't touch them.
I mean, there are certain players.
Rice would take back.
Oh God, yeah. There are certain players though at Arsenal that I would like to put into other teams. You know, like for example, Kai Havertz. I'd love to put him into Tottenham. And
it'd be the new Richarlison.
You know what I mean? Imagine him and Richarlison on either side of the pitch. That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's a couple of players. I mean, one that's kind of been wasted there, I'd say, is Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
I want my, Kieran Tierney's not a bad player. I like him.
Yeah, I quite like the young defender lad,
Skelly.
Yeah.
Skelly or Skelly, quality.
Yeah. Really good player.
I think their right back's good as well. Tinder. Is it Tinder? Or I think he's. I think
Timber.
both the left back.
Timber. Yeah, he is very
we
good.
know you'll be looking at the Jay.
We swipe right on him, do we, Jay?
Fraudulent slip. I'm happily married. Fucking Tinder.
She's holding the camera, isn't she? We know.
It's all come out now. That West Ham channel, he's been.
Not like and subscribe, like and swipe.
Yeah. By the way, Jay, loving your stuff, mate. I do watch regularly, and congratulations on the.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it, honestly. Yeah. Do you know what? It's a lot of fun. And again, for me, because I live in Spain, I felt a bit detached. Before Spain, I had a business out in Greece for years. So not being around West Ham people, where it was such a big part of my upbringing. Like I was Forest Gate, I could walk to the ground. I'd walk down to the ground, and along the way, I'd be seeing mums of my mates and everyone coming out. Good luck today, And since being back on YouTube, which obviously started with Claret and Booze, shout out to Claret and Booze, and it didn't end great, but it is what it is, and it was still my introduction back to feeling attached, because for me, there was nothing like, and I'll try and explain this to my 14-year-old son, who's only seen the London Stadium and thinks West Ham are just boring. I said, no, son, you've got to understand. What you've missed out on was like standing up as a kid, looking up at all these big blokes, like watching this thing that you loved, and it became a part of the upbringing. Like Cockney, I always say this, we're the only part of London, we've got our own culture. Cockney's a real thing. Like it's a way of talking, but it's also a way of respecting your elders, opening the doors for the bit. Like it's all of this other stuff that as a father, I'm trying to instill into my kids. And I got that from West Ham. So for me, it's imperative to, I love being on these things. Listen, no offense, Budge, you know, you've got at least a generation on me. You don't look it, but I just know. But
How old
it's
are you, Jay?
44.
Oh,
44.
gosh. I've got children 6 years younger than you, mate.
Right. But it's a reminder because although there's that generational gap, West Ham, all of that went out the window over West Ham. It was Upton Park, wasn't it? It was such a communal, culty. Just, it was everything.
I mean, I've never lived in London, and I can quite honestly say I'm pretty glad I've never lived in London. But I've always lived down by Gatwick in Crawley. But even so, as a young lad, you know, 14, 15-year-old, I was travelling up to Upton Park every 2 weeks to go and watch the home games, going to some of the away games whenever I could get a ticket or to travel there or whatever. And I spent like basically from about 13 until I was about 26 going to as many games as I could, most of them at Upton Park. And, you know, the memories that I've got are irreplaceable. I said to my mate the other day, I could, you know, get Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or anything like that, but I'll never forget the atmosphere inside that stadium. I will never forget it. It's something that lives with you. It helps you to breathe at times, you know.
Bang on.
It reminds you to breathe at times, you know. And you know, I've experienced similar atmospheres at the London Stadium during some of the European Cup ties, but nothing like the weekly throng of Upton.
Oh, he's froze.
As Budgie froze.
Yeah, he's come back in again. So let's bring on that one and get rid of that one.
God, that was double Budgie then for a minute, wasn't it? That was Budge.
Got double Budge. Yeah. I mean, like every week that place just moved. You know, I'm pretty sure it travelled up, you know, Green Street about an inch a year. You know, I'm sure that stadium moved because it just doesn't feel like that. It's not as organic anymore. You know?
Bang on, mate. Bang on. Yeah. I said this many times. You remember walking out of Upton Park, right? And you're talking like that. You can't even, and everyone around you is talking just like this because you shouted. And it was one of them games where we've been losing, and you know that night it was us that was the 12th man. And you walk out of that stadium, the energy that was generated in Upton Park, like from every part of that stadium, like you said, it reverberated out of the turnstiles, onto the streets, down the road, walking back to fucking Forest Gate, like it's unbelievable.
I know, mate. And like I used to stay at Forest Gate a lot because my cousin, my auntie and uncle used to live on Capel Road. And
just across
the road.
Yeah,
I live just off of Capel Road, bruv.
Well, my uncle used to be the caretaker of the flat, so he lived in that house with all the changing rooms attached to it, opposite Tilney Road.
I lived on Ridley Road.
How old are you? 44.
44. What's your cousin's name? Did he have kids?
Oh my God! His name was Sean Brooker. Not into football though, but he's about 56 now, I think, 57. No, he's 2 years younger than me. What am I talking about? He's 61.
Mate, he would have been there when we lived there. He would have been there when we lived there.
Yeah,
I used to play football there. Amazing.
Yeah, mate. I've had many games out on Wanstead Flats. Many games.
God, blimey.
And I met Martin Peters out there in 1971.
True.
So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
before I carry on with the chat, there's a story I heard on the weekend, and it's to do with Burnley and obviously Everton's last game, etc., etc. And the guy who went on to talk sport, he's a carer, and he was telling a story about this old boy that used to go and tend to and stuff like this, and he actually had dementia and leading on to Alzheimer's. And on the mantelpiece was this glass football. So he goes, "What's that then?" And his name, the fella's name was Jimmy.
Mm.
"Oh, what's that then?" He goes, yeah, I used to do football on there. So he had a look at it, and it turns out that he is, or was, unfortunately, because he has now passed away. He was Jimmy Robson, who scored his 100th goal in the FA Cup final at Wembley, and during the 1962 FA Cup final against Spurs, funny enough, of all teams. He played 460 odd games for Burnley and that. And this bloke couldn't remember, like, a couple of days ago, let alone X amount of time. But when he got to talk to him about the football and that, and he goes, "Jim, did you play football and that?" "Aye, lad, yeah." And he just went into full verse, and he was telling them all these stories and this and the other, and it is like, it was really, it's quite. Listening to the story itself was quite emotional, just like that. And
Yeah.
he said, like, when they said, "Oh, is he still around?" He goes, "No, unfortunately, he passed away. I think it's 2021." But yeah, what a way! 460 odd games he played for. 242 games he played for Burnham. I'm just looking at the thing here. 242,
Wow.
and yeah, he could do a lot of things. But yeah, what a story.
Mate, that just shows you, like, and again, it's proof that football, for true football fans of any club, it's ingrained in your soul because it goes back to when you was innocent, a kid. Life was so much easier. You liked what you liked. You didn't like what you didn't like. You fucking loved your team.
Yeah.
So because it's always had that, I think that's what's so scary about the direction in which not just West Ham, football in general is going. It's soulless.
Yeah. Yeah, well, especially this season has been proof of that, Jay. I think we can all agree on that. And I speak to any club with any fan, and they tell you exactly the same thing. Terence saying Budgie Potts won't do a Rice and leave. He actually wants to win a trophy.
No, I don't think that Potts will leave, but I'm just saying that his progression could be similar to Rice's, and he could end up becoming club captain, which
I think he will do.
I'm sure is definitely on the cards for him.
Yeah. Usual saying he got one for the panel tonight. Arabs are in talk to buy Millwall. The gospel truth, apparently.
Wow. That's even more reason to pay them, wouldn't we? With all that money behind them, pay them even more.
Certainly more money than us, yeah. That would be.
And like on the train going into London, if you go to London Bridge, if you go to Victoria Station, you actually go past Millwall's ground on the train, right? And they got so much room around it. They could expand that stadium so much.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Because it's all like ex-railway line, railway yard area and stuff around their stadium.
This is true.
So, yeah, if they had that kind of money, mate, watch out for them.
Oh, bloody hell. Steve is saying that Rice geezer are supposed to be pretty decent. Terence saying the usual. Wouldn't surprise me. They'll all wear bomber jackets. Bloody hell, tell. Yeah, words a bit saying that you two must have walked past each other back in the day and didn't even realise when you.
Definitely, absolutely, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I always, when I sort of was old enough to not get refused in a pub. I used to walk down Capel Road and end up at
The fleece, the golden fleece.
Yeah, mate. I had my very first pint in that pub. My very first. Yeah.
And just down the road from, a couple of, was it 10, 20 yards from that was the old milk place, wasn't it? The old milk
Yeah,
place.
the milk yard.
That's right. That's right.
Carp or Unigate, I can't remember when it was.
They turned it into an old people's home. That's where my nan, God rest her, that's where she ended up. But yeah,
it was United Dairies, wasn't it?
United Dairies, there you go. Yeah, that'd be the one.
Yeah, because me and my cousin used to flop down there at like 4 o'clock in the morning and jump on one of the floats with one of the milkmen, go and help them out and earn yourself a quid for the day. You know what I mean? It's great.
Good old days.
Yeah, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, we don't want Jesus Pepsi. Pepsi's trying to offload Pepsi, the old Jesus to us. Nah, not that one. But you'll take Trossard.
Absolutely.
Trossard, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. Quality player.
I think he hasn't renewed his. Or he doesn't
Take
want to
David Raya as well, if I'm honest.
Raya, I don't think you go there. But say Trossard, he doesn't want to renew his contract by all accounts. So could be one to think of. Could be one.
Oh yeah, just wanted to ask, what did you think of my little backdrop thing? Look,
I like that. Yeah,
love that.
These colours don't run. I got that on Temu for less than £5.
Bloody hell.
So, boys and girls, get yourselves on Temu.
Mate, I'm shameless. I shop like a millionaire.
I do. I've had 4 parcels delivered today.
Mate, do you get them little
for me darts and all that? You know what I mean?
You get the emails where it moves 3 cups around and you can clearly see where the €100 is. I'm like, go on.
I was going to say, Jay, them solar lights you got in the back of you and that, they fucking work well, didn't they?
They move, baby.
Let me say to a good old friend of mine from the other side of the pond, Director John, good evening to yourself now, or good afternoon. Hello, you handsome bastards, he's saying. How are we, Director John? Hope
evening, Director John.
Sorry I haven't been with you guys for a while. It's been a busy time for me. I hope everyone is all okay. Everyone needs Jesus in their life. Oh dear. God rest his soul, my old man, when we had Jehovah's Witness knock on the door one day and all of a sudden I said, Dad, there's some bloke want to see you. So of course he starts preaching all the Lord's work and this and the other. And my dad suddenly went to him and he goes, if he's the Almighty, why has he asked you to come round and knock for me? Why did he come to my door instead? He wants me to spread the word, mate. I don't want the monkey. I want the organ grinder. Give me the organ grinder, and we might talk business, kind of thing. Bloke did that and do it there. Off he popped. God bless him.
Oh, mate.
And
my dad was the sort of person that would just go, hang on a minute, I've just got to go and finish off the wife. I'll be back in a minute. You know what I mean?
And just to top this off, my dad would have been one of the fuckers knocking at your door. It's funny because it's true.
Oh, man. What a small world. Because look, we've had Director John Brooklyn, and then of course we're going to have David Shear from Australia. Tony Cobber, we fucking won. Poor Fuzzy and Anthony. Yeah, yes, mate. And David, congratulations for Spurs for winning and that. Give them merry hell, please, sir. I hope you're keeping well, Dave. And he's also saying David Shear celebrates 1 month of membership. Well done, David. Thank you very much for that, sir. Really appreciate that.
David.
Director John says, don't say gospel to the Arabs. This is very true. Steve saying, usual be lots of people walking around with no hands. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. We're covering some weird and wonderful stuff tonight. David Shear, hey Pepsi, we won. Woohoo! Of course, Arsenal and the North London side of things. People saying David Shear, big hands, new contract. Well, I'm just waiting for him. He's done his thing, isn't he? He said he'll win a trophy within 2 years. Yeah. I'm just waiting for old big hands to get the old microphone, drop mic, walk off.
Yeah, you know. And did you hear Kieran's little speech about it last night on
No, I
Full Hammers?
was watching. Unfortunately, I listened to you in the background and that, and unfortunately, I dozed off. Not because I used to.
Yeah. Boring pair of bastards, aren't we? No, basically, Kieran was going into one about Jason Cundy and the other TalkSport journalists and that presenters, and he was
Jamie
saying,
O'Hara.
yeah, he was saying, oh, you know, it's one up theirs and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not going to repeat exactly what Kieran said. This is this is a PC show. But yeah, no, it was quite funny. It was quite funny. But yeah, but you know, fair play. Tottenham have now, you know, won the trophy. They can talk about that for a few years and they'll leave us alone a bit, maybe.
Yeah, well, you know, it'll be, you know, North London is white now. That's what they'll be saying.
Well, yeah.
David Shear saying, "I will tell the club to go fuck themselves, Pepsi." Matt's gone. Budgie promoting Timu, and so is a millionaire in Spain as well. Timu for Timu one. David Shear saying, "Alex Cook was gold. What a right twat." Jay, Harry. Good evening, all you beautiful people. Come on, you irons. Good to see you in there, Harry.
Howie.
Terence says, I remember at 13 getting the crossed hammers etched on my arm, Indian ink special. I was so scared of my mum seeing it. I got a proper mum tattoo. Got a slap, but a cuddle after. Superb.
I was never tempted to get one of those Indian ink specials, mate. Never. So I ended up going to Brighton Pier and having a tattoo done. And, well, I'm just waiting now to have it covered over 50 odd years later, you know, because like, it's an abomination. I had it done on my 17th birthday, walked in all proud as a peacock, and my old man goes, "Is that a tattoo?" "Yeah, Dad, look." And he went, "Yes, great, son." He only ever hit me once, and that was the occasion. The one occasion he hit me. He hit me right around the ear hole.
That's all it takes to be budget.
Not supposed to have them till you're 18. And if you come back with the police asking questions, I'm going to tell them you're only 17. Like, all right, cheers, Dad. Thanks for
that. Steve's saying there was a knock on the door today. The bloke said, "Is the lady of the house okay?" I said, "Why?" He said she hadn't had an Amazon delivery today. Ray saying Millwall with Araboners, they're ordering a fat well against the Hammer. Jesus. It's weird. What's going on with this chat? Bear with me, because it suddenly jumps right up to the top again.
It does that sometimes.
I don't know why.
Stell's always complaining about
it. Yeah, Matt saying North London forever, new national anthem. Michael, please. Good evening to yourself, Ian, Tony, Budgie, and Jay. And as always, everyone's saying
evening.
Gary, good evening to yourself, Nat. Evening. Who's that dodgy-looking geezer in the middle?
Right, Gal.
Mark was waving to everyone. And Gary saying, all right, Mr. Bill. Oh, he's got Chesney Hawks. Chesney Hawks.
I can't even tell you. When I put this out on, like, half of the reason I put this out on is because what it does to my missus. She hates me in this hat. Like, I can't even say, because of PC, what she says I look like when I wear this hat. Let's just put it this way. You'd expect me coming in on the yellow bus sort of thing.
Oh, dear. David's saying we have a mob of flip-floppers as fans. We call flip-flops thongs, which translates into dental floss. Yes, we know that one. And there's so no worry there. He's I hope you're all well, Cobbers. We are indeed. David, up you as well. I mean, you must be really pleased with the result, obviously. And Ray's also saying, Millwall, no one likes us, so we Chop off our hands. I don't think they're going to understand. They're not going to get away with this one, are they? Keith Flint, Harry Monk. Yeah, mate.
At least everybody's leaving me and Michael Antonio alone at the moment. So.
Well, we'll come on to that afterwards, but it's that time of the night. It's that time of the night. I think it's appropriate at this point there, I say, Budge, where we have a look at this man.
Glad you're here for this one, by the way, Joe.
We're going to have a look at this.
Fantastic. I'm glad to be here. It's been brilliant so far.
Wow.
Captain, our captain. Billy Bonds. Wow. I have one particular memory of Billy Bonds that I want to share with people, is that there was a time when my granddad passed away, and I was feeling pretty shit because I was pretty close to him, and I was only young, 15, 16, something like that. And my brother, who's actually a staunch Chelsea fan, anybody who knows me will know, wanted to cheer me up and took me to a game. It was Chelsea West Ham at Stamford Bridge. I was in amongst all the Chelsea fans, so I couldn't cheer for West Ham. I believe we drew 1-1. It's either 1-1 or 2-1 for Chelsea. I can't remember exactly. But what I do remember is afterwards, my brother said, look, we're going to go to a pub called Palmerston, I think it was called. We're going to go to the Palmerston and have a pint. I'll buy you a drink and that. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't tell anybody your age. And we'll be fine. We walked out of the ground, and as we're walking along the street, Billy Bonds was standing there chatting to some woman, just chatting to her. And I looked up at him and I said, bruv, that's Billy Bonds. And he turned around and he said to me, hello, young man. I was like, hello. And he went, are you a Chelsea fan by any chance? I went, actually, no, I'm not. My brother's standing there going, shh, shut the fuck up, will you? Huh? You know, he was like really worried because it was at the height of the troubles, if you want to call it that. And Billy Bonds went, no worries. He said, you follow the claret and blue. And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, mate, yeah. And he had this fucking pad, wrote his signature on it, give it to me, and turned back to the lady and said, sorry about that. Can't not chat to the fans. And she was like, oh, that's all right, Billy. And they would just chat. So obviously they knew each other. But he took time out of a conversation with somebody else to speak to a young fan. Billy Bonds all over that was. And that was before he was captain.
It's the West Ham way, mate.
Exactly. You know, in the middle of a predominantly Chelsea area. And he's standing there, you know, cool as a cucumber. You know, nobody was approaching him because obviously everybody was Chelsea. But yeah, it was great. So yeah, he was always on my list of high on my list of my childhood heroes. You know, and just I just felt that this week was fitting due to the fact that last week or week before we got the news that he was now suffering with dementia. And as it said on that right up on the video, we all hope, you know, he's comfortable. What else can we hope for? You know, bless him. And we will always remember Billy. And what are you guys thinking? What are you guys saying?
So I'll let you go because of the background noise. I'm going to mute for a second, yeah?
All right, mate. Yeah, I mean, Bonzi, I mean, like, you know, I remember when, as a player, you know, he was exceptional. He was a leader on and off the pitch. He had a smile on his face all the time as well. But he was also he was an hard player and all, wasn't he? He didn't muck around. He, you know, put some fair challenges in.
Yeah.
But you could also take the ball up the pitch, as you just showed in that clip there on the video. And what I liked about him was, as you've mentioned in that, and I've heard many stories in that, how down to earth he was.
Oh gosh, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And
one of the toughest, most ruthless bastards on the pitch, really was. You know, and when you watched him live, you could really see that in him. There was a real nasty streak in him while he was playing football. Get him over that white line and back into, you know, normal territory, get him off that pitch effectively. And he was the nicest guy in the world. Absolutely the nicest guy in the world. Spoke very gently. You know, he was really listen, of all the celebrities from any walk of life that I've ever met, and there's been, you know, a fair few, not thousands, hundreds, but there's been a few. Of all of the celebrities that I've met, there's only one that I've found more more welcoming, and that was fucking hell, Bob Hoskins. I met him once in a pub. He was great. But Billy Bonds, he is the sort of guy that will stop what he's doing and make time for a fan. Always has been, always will be. And that's my kind of forever memory of Billy. I mean, tough as houses, but lovely off the pitch.
Yeah.
Lovely guy.
You know what? For me as well, sorry, Toad, just to chip in, the first, in fact, in my whole career as a West Ham fan, I never sung anyone's name followed by the Campbell Army like Billy Bonds. That was Billy Bonds and Campbell Army. That feeling of chanting that geezer's name over there, like as a kid, with all big people doing exactly the same thing as I was doing. Because I definitely, as a kid, if they'd have put me on a spectrum, I had my own fucking spectrum. So over West Ham, I could do all of that stuff that you could only dream of fucking doing in the classroom that I'd get kicked out for. And singing that geezer's name and just any little wave, any little nod of acknowledgement.
That's the only spectrum you have to worry about, son.
I'll take it.
6'2" and eyes are blue. Billy Bonds is coming for you.
Yeah, just see
that was another one, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I'll say Matt's Billy Bonds was born the day after himself.
Wow.
Big up to Kieran as well. Big Ange rules. Good day, chaps. Good day to you as well, Kieran.
Good evening, Kieran.
Good to see you.
Evening, Kieran.
You got the link in your inbox, mate, if you want to pop on.
And they're saying like to Kieran as well. Gary's saying
Billy Bonds is one of Kieran's all-time heroes.
Is he? Oh,
yeah,
that's good. Gary's saying, I think not even joking, Antonio Vardy will lead in the line for us next season. How bad is it going to be? Blimey, let's hope not. Yeah,
mate, Vardy's coming nowhere near us.
Let's hope not.
No, he's not. He's not. Trust me, he's not coming anywhere near us.
I just don't think he'd want to. I just don't think he'd want to come to West Ham anyway for the logistics and everything else at this stage.
Yeah.
Why would he?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, he'd rather go and play for Peterborough or somebody. Do you know what I mean? It's not too far for him to go. You know, he don't have to resettle. Nah, he ain't coming anywhere near us. It's a 3.5 hour drive from him from Leicester to London.
Well, he's still paying up his wife's debt kind of thing for the court case he lost, so we won't be paying that type of wage to help him out, that's for sure.
No.
Kieran's asking how we are as well, and Terence saying, Budgie, I think I mentioned my granddad had the contract cleaning up at the bowling. When granddad died, Billy Bond sent flowers, love him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know that is typical of Billy Bonds. You know, even now, I reckon if he heard that a West Ham fan was, you know, having troubles or, you know, God forbid on borrowed time or something, I know Billy Bonds would definitely reach out. I know he would, because that's the sort of guy he is.
Yeah. Usual saying, I saw Billy Bonds nearly slapped Clive Walker in half once at Upton Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was. I was in the stadium that day as well.
Gary's having a dig at you, Jay. What's that noise in the background? Sounds like you're in a taxi rank.
I've actually relocated because some noisy northerners turned up where I was sitting, so I thought I better get out of here with my West Ham hat on. I don't want to get weighed in on your live.
Yeah, it's nice to have our man on the street in Marbella, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah, I feel like, and what was her name? Was it Annika's challenge? You remember she used to run around?
Yeah,
Annika. Challenge Annika.
I just ain't got I ain't got the arse, lads. I ain't got the arse.
Suddenly we're going to see.
Not that I would be looking.
I say we see all 3 channels subscriptions go up like nobody's business because Jay's been weighed in. And everyone's getting the like button.
You know what? It probably would give me a few followers, wouldn't it?
This week we're going to try North Koreans.
They misunderstood Jay saying "smash the likes." Oh man,
brilliant!
David Shear saying he lost my mum after a long battle with illness last Thursday.
David,
God
rest her, mate. God rest her.
Sorry to hear that, David.
I hope it was. I hope she had a long life as well. But yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. And
can I just say something on that? Sorry, because as what I do professionally for a living is I work a lot with people with grief, and what I would say to you, mate, is, and don't get me wrong, it's something that I didn't deal with. I lost a kid. We lost our second child, and I now I can talk about this confidently. What I'm about to say to you, but it took me a long time. And what I would say to you is, with grief, for me, I've realised grief is the most beautiful emotion, because what grief is remembering love. So you delve into it whichever way you choose to, and just know that she was a gift to you. She was no one else's mum, and everything you've got is the most important thing you need to have, which is your memories. So good luck to you with the memories of a wonderful woman. And you go through that process whatever way you need to. There's no gauging it. You can't do it right. You can't do it wrong. Just enjoy the memories, mate.
You can only do it you.
Yeah, well done. And look, again, this just shows you what the community is like, saying there's condolences for him as well. That's what's good about everyone here.
Yeah, you see, grief doesn't have any colours either, does it?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Harry's saying, come on, Kieran. I missed Beaver Watch last night. Yeah.
Fucking Beaver Watch.
Harry's saying Vardy's too young for West Ham.
Brilliant.
Outside Sticky Vicky's. Oh, dear me. No, look at that. Yeah. Thank you for your kind words. All bless you. No, that's what it's all about, mate. And they're saying like with each other. Thank you, Terence and Mama Cobbett. Mark was saying the era of football, the players were just people. You used to see them in the public often. Yeah, they're homegrown, isn't it, at the end of the day? What else is there? Thanks, David.
Yeah.
And of course, Bonzi then becomes on to be, comes as the captain. Usually, thank you, matey. And He's also saying there, he's saying at the end of all of our travels, we arrive where we began and we know the place for the first time. TSLA. Yeah, words well spoken. Let me just bring this man on as well.
Hey.
Good day, mate.
Good day, Sport.
G'day, chaps.
Good to see you, mate.
Hello.
It's lovely to absolute honour. Love your work, by the way. I just want to say that straight away.
Oh, Jay, that's a very nice thing to wake up to, and that kind of compliment. Thank you very much. How you doing,
Not at
Jay?
all, mate. Yeah,
Tony?
really good.
Kieran, good to
Sorry.
see you, my friend.
Yeah, you good, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
You're going all over the world, Tony, aren't you, sir?
Australia, Spain, Gatwick, and your
Yeah.
hometown. All good, all good.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kieran, we've been chatting about Billy Bonds, mate. Come on, give us some of your memories on Billy. I know he was one of your favourites, wasn't he?
Yeah. I based my game around him. You know, when you're at school, I was at St Bonaventures, by the way. But if I didn't know. But everyone wanted to be a striker, didn't they? Everyone wanted to score goals. I didn't. I wanted to do what Billy Bonds did. Kick people in the air and win the ball. And I got pretty good at it. So, yeah, I based my game on him. He was a warrior type player, wasn't he? And a battler. And he weren't necessarily dirty, but he'd win the ball and the player, and I developed that in my game. I could get that ball and I could put that player up the air as well. Fucking brilliant. The days when it was allowed. Not anymore. I don't think I'd survive very long now. But
No.
yeah, Billy Bonds was just a legend, mate. And he was so humble off the pitch, such a quiet guy. He's completely different when he walked over that white line, wasn't he? Just an amazing player. And he was a hero for us, just an absolute hero. Like I said, the only two posters I ever had was Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds. So yeah, it said a lot. Yeah, it was great. And he got the crowd. That's when you talk about the crowd up the park. It wasn't always buzzing with 30-odd thousand. We sometimes had 15,000 in there.
Yeah.
But one of them tackles from Bonds would lift that crowd, and you'd think there was 40,000 there. They loved it. And he's battling the way he was. Yeah, mate, he just got you going. He had the silky skills of Brooklyn and Devonshire and before that Bobby Moore's. You had all that. But when you wanted that, that's why you get the likes of Julian Dix come along. He became a fan favourite because he was fucking worse. He forgot about the ball, Julian Dix. He just went with the player. But yeah, people love that, mate. They love the great tackle just as much as a great shot on goal.
Yeah. Which is obviously one of the reasons why a lot of us older fans have got to love Tommy Sojak, you know, because he is that kind of, you know, that warrior.
Yeah, that 100%. 100%.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's been happening, Kieran?
Not much, mate. The sun's just come up. Mate. I go out of bed. What time is it now? Fuck me, it's not even 6:30. Yeah, I just slauntered out of bed at 6 o'clock. It's still pitch black, and I go, yeah, this is coming into winter now. I don't like it, guys. I don't like it. The sun comes up at 4:30 in the morning here, in the summer. And now it's just after 6, 20 past 6 on 8.
You miserable old fucker. It's like you got a divine right for sunshine, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. When you live here, I'm sure Jay feels the same.
I feel exactly the same as you, mate. 22 degrees and I'm moaning.
Yeah, I know. We're going to hit 25 today, guys. We're coming into winter, you know.
Mate,
And I'm
22
whinging about
degrees. We've all got our roofs down on the convertible.
This is the first time, guys, in 8 months, I've put a little jacket on to come out here, sit on the balcony, you know.
Buddy,
Life's hard, Kieran. Life's hard, bruv.
I'll suffer it, though, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about me. I'll get through. I'll do anything for YouTube, right? Anyway. Yeah.
Brilliant.
How's life in Spain, Jay? Is it treating you well?
Hey, do you know what? It's wonderful, mate. It is the best move we made 4 years ago. The 14th of this month, May, even was our 4-year anniversary. And I've got a 14-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl, and they are happy.
Good, good.
that's all that matters, isn't it? You know, that's when you know you're in. If they
All that
weren't
matters,
happy, then we wouldn't be here. So, no, loving it, mate. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
asking.
No, you're welcome, man. That's good. It's good. Like I see people all over the world support West Ham supporters as well, because they are pretty well dotted all over the world, mate. There's plenty here when you scratch the surface in Australia. It's quite amazing. But yeah,
Mate, do you know what I
That's
love
nice.
over here? Whenever I wear this out down the beach, like I'll hear someone from afar with the most
Yeah.
Spanish accent going, "Lions." Like, and I'm like, and then we'll go over there, mate. And all the bar owners over here as well. It's funny because I don't even drink, but I still get to know all the people. But whenever I go in, if I'm on the beach, I've either got a West Ham shirt on, I've got my West Ham short. They'll always say, "Oh, you lot are the best." I'm not just saying this either. They say, "You lot are the best fans. We love you, West Ham fans," and always have a story about some experience they've had with either one West Ham fan or a group of West Ham fans that's been meaningful, that stuck
Yeah.
with them. And that's what I love about it. That's what I love about being
Yeah.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I used to get pulled up here. When I used to lived on the Gold Coast here, I used to go to the beach quite a bit. I live 30 metres from the beach. And I've got 2 hammers on my back, you know. Got that, fuck me, when I was young. Hey, I'll tell you, funny enough, it's just fucking diverse a bit. When I got them tattoos done, what's the geezer, Harry Potter? That was the name of the guy that done my tattoos. He was well known for West Ham tattoos down in Tilbury, I think it was. Down at Tilbury Docks. He's a geezer called Harry Potter. Long before Harry Potter became a thing. Anyway, so I'll be on the beach with me 2 hammers on my back, and people, would notice it and go, "Shit, you're West Ham fan." Yeah.
Mate, I'm still caught up in the fact that you got tattooed by Harry Potter. What a wand today.
He just done it with a wand, geezer, yeah, you know.
That's
Oh,
fucking
mate.
quality.
That's
Like,
magic,
isn't it?
that is.
That's magic. I love that bunch. That's magic.
Hey,
Hey, did a boom.
too early for
I'm here
that.
all week. Yeah,
Well,
brilliant.
you know, when you look at that, we can also, I suppose it's like,
You love your little toys, didn't you, son?
well, you got a true right in you. You got a two in you. That's for sure.
We got it all, mate. We got it all.
Just to cover on this one, because I've seen it mentioned before, but and I think it was mentioned last night. Steiden going to Barcelona.
Yeah, don't care.
Go where he wants. He can go wherever he wants to go on holiday. He's allowed. Go where you look,
On
mate.
holiday.
My simple answer is he don't work for us, so I'm not really worried. Don't care where he goes.
No,
You know, he weren't that great for us, in my opinion.
I don't.
He's a deal
That's how I
closer.
say, mate.
He's a deal closer, mate, and nothing more. That's what I'm taking from his time at West Ham. You know,
Well, yeah,
and
anything
you know,
we say about
let him
Budgie.
go and close deals because that's what he's good at. Wherever he does it, good luck
I
to
suppose
him.
there is that, but it's also wondering how much influence Sullivan actually had on some of these deals as well. And was it all just kind of down to Steiden? Was it a case of Steiden kind of bowing to pressure? It'll come out, I suppose, at some point in the wash, as they say. But
We all know David Sullivan from time and history, and we know he had his finger in it. Yeah, we know he did. We ain't got to be told.
Yeah.
that.
I mean, Steiden's hands probably were tied by that prick anyway.
yeah,
I mean, I thought it was a great move to bring him in. It looked like we were actually looking forward as a club for the first time. And but if you're not going to allow your director of football to pick that manager that brings you forward, then what's the fucking point? You know, he's got to be able to do that, and he wasn't. Fucking Lopetegui weren't his pick, and he was Potter. So to me,
He didn't get a fair crack. That's whether he was good, bad, or indifferent. What he didn't get was a fair crack. Like he got a job title with a job role, which we all knew the job description, but he weren't allowed to do it. So again, for me, I put yet another mark on David Sullivan, and don't get me wrong, it's fucking boring having a go at the geezer, but he just don't stop.
Yeah, I can't be asked for that.
It just don't stop, does he? It just is.
No.
It sounds awful to say. Until he kicks the bucket, he's going to own West Ham. That's what I've accepted.
But, I mean, he's one of them. I reckon he just went, fuck it, I tried it. You're the director of football. No, I don't, so I'm going back to doing it now. That's it. That's...
Yeah, shits and giggles, as I say. Good evening, Stephen. He's saying good evening, all.
Evening, Stephen.
Evening, Stephen. Evening, Stephen.
Even Stevens.
Gary saying, tie your kangaroo down, Spall.
Yeah. Remember the fuck who sang that?
Harry saying, hit the like button, you slags. Thank you very much.
Sort it out.
Yeah, Gary, this day and age, you can't tackle anyone now. That's for sure. Yeah, cotton wool treatment for players these days. Terence says, best memory of mum. She had Alzheimer's, watched us win our Euro title. When we scored, I screamed, and my mum tapped me on the shoulder and calmly said, "What a bacon sandwich, boy." Noisy fucker.
Yes, mum. That's what I would have said. I do.
Yeah, when my mum passed, it was quite easy because I did the eulogy for both mum and dad, and when it came to mum and that, it was quite easy to start off with her. She was a techno wizard. She was the only person I know who can record and delete a Sky program at the same time. And I'll never forget when we first got a microwave. And do you remember, you know, the old rolls you used to get the frozen rolls and you just put them in the oven, whack them 10 minutes, warm them up kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she did exactly the same thing in the microwave, and I had to come out to find this fucking big old plume of smoke in the kitchen. And they're sitting in the sink with these rolls, perfectly crispy on the outside, and this black centre in the middle kind of thing, which she'd burnt the shit out of them, basically.
Oh, great.
Brilliant.
My old mum, she used to be a cook in school kitchens in a secondary school just down the road from where I am now. And so, you know, she was always a good cook, my mum. But the one thing she couldn't do was play football. And she tried, bless her, and it never really worked out well for her. But everybody used to, like, you know, she used to like get involved with all us kids and that playing football. And, you know, because we all knew her for being a cook at the school and stuff, you know, we were all like, you know, don't tackle her. And I was especially the one that didn't want to be going in for a tackle, because if I did take the ball off my mum, she'd grab me by the ear or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah, brilliant memories they are.
I just got this vision in my mind now, Budge, of you 2-footing your mum, and that is just wrong.
Yeah. Take that. I would have done that. I see, amazing though. She's a little memory of my mother. Is she's an Irish lady, you know, that we'd all moved over. I was born in Forest Gate, and but I had 5 brothers, 2 sisters. You know what I mean? They're all born in Ireland, but she loved sport. I couldn't believe when I started getting into West Ham. She loved knitting as well, right? She loved watching pot black, snooker, tennis. She loved watching sport, man. But surprising. But she used to knit me the scarves, right? Because she used to watch the telly, like whether it be fucking Sport or Coronation Street. She didn't know when to fucking stop. She used to knit me a fucking scarf. It was 17 meters long. And, you know, I can track it. When she do the claret and blue, she'd do all that, right? But fuck, you know, wrap it around my head, round my fucking waist, round my neck.
Round all your mates.
Yeah.
You're like a fucking like a mummy.
Mates there, me and the chicken, man. Fucking wrapped up in his scarf.
The old of the East End and fucking with Kieran's scarf.
Yeah, from one end of the stand to the other.
I think when I left the house, she could hold on to the end of it, keep an eye on me.
Fucking hell.
You're due home there, boy.
You kept the whole of the chicken
Yeah,
run
you just
warm
put
with
me
that
in
one,
when it's time for dinner.
That's true.
Fucking hell, mate. You see them banners they put out the fucking games now? It was wider than that. You could hold it up right across the North Bank. Mental. Yeah. Funny, man.
Kieran, I've got to ask, was it Forest Gate Hospital?
No, I was born in the house, would you believe? This is how fuck. My mother was some woman, I'll tell you. She'd already had the other 7, and I was the last of 8. She was fucking got up that morning. My dad used to work at Ford Stagnant, right? She'd make all his lunch in the morning, fucking whatever ridiculous time it was, 5 or 6 o'clock. He'd go off to work, right? That morning, she phoned up the what do you call it? The woman that delivers babies. Our doctor. It was our doctor, actually. She was called Dr. Streisand, right? And she was a Jewish lady, right? And she was a prison camp survivor in the Second World War. She had the number on her arm.
Wow.
She turned up, right? Delivered me in the morning. They stuck me in the top drawer. So I've been set up by all of them, right? And she was cooking dinner for my dad when he came home that night.
Wow.
And that fucking meant he just spat me out, right? Here's another one. It's mental, eh? You tell the kids of the day, they won't believe you.
That's amazing.
I just had to stop myself in my tracks there, Kieran, because when you said about the midwife delivered you kind of thing, put you in the drawer and that, and then she cooked dinner for your dad, and I just realized, no, you twat, it's your mum that she was straight to doing the things. But that's how they were, though, isn't it? As you said,
You thought it was the midwife was knocking up a pie and chips.
His dad. Yeah, we was on the wrong. The top of Green Street, geezer, Jay. You know, top of Green Street, Romford Road. There. By the police station. By the police station there. About a few houses down.
I know that Nick very well. That's where I got banged up.
I've been in there. My first time I was in there.
Yeah, these days they call it an Airbnb. Back then, bruv, it was the fucking.
We were only a few doors down from that, and I was born in the house. Yeah, he didn't even bother with the hospital with mother. Fuck that.
Oh, it's amazing, mate. God, proper.
I have to ask the question, Jay. Strangely enough, you said like it's 4 years now since you've been in Spain.
Go on.
Sorry, Matt, I couldn't hear anything.
I say you moved to Spain, 4 years ago. You didn't set fire to the Forest Gate police station because that caught fire around that time and all. just double checking, mate. I know that happens to the place.
Well,
Do you know
Kieran
what?
went to Australia because he done the Brinks-Map robbery. Oh no, the Great Trading robbery. Sorry.
Gentlemen, I've listen. On Tone, thank you so much for inviting me on because this is genuinely Budge, Kieran. I love your fucking stuff. When I listen to yous, again, I say it from a greatest respect. I go back to being. I've always my first memory of going to West Ham. I cannot for the life of remember who we played. What I remembered was standing there in the chicken run, right? And my dad was a Bible basher. Love him to bits, but he was a Bible basher. So I'd never heard that beautiful word that we use over West Ham beginning with C, right? Yeah. And I'll never forget the first time I heard that, and I looked up at this big geezer, probably one of you two, and went, that's a word? Why is everyone using that fucking word? Right? But I fell in love with the energy at West Ham. And I've always said, I've thankfully, over the last couple of years, I've done a lot of work with West Ham fans, and I've got to meet people of your generation that I fucking idolised as a kid for all the right reasons. Because as West Ham people, we're a good bunch. We're a fucking decent type of human being. And I love what you lot are doing. I'm a massive fan. I'd love, sorry, Tone, to say this on your show. I know you won't mind, but I'd love to do one of my tales from Upton Park with the two of you. So if you don't mind, if I can get your details off of Tony, I'd love to do a tales from Upton Park with you two, mate, recounting some of your stories. I'd fucking love it.
I've already done a spotlight. I've been I've already done a spotlight on these two as well, Jay. So yeah, that was quite a good show as well. Everyone enjoyed that one with these two.
Brilliant,
so, yeah,
brilliant.
And Jay, if you get any shark attacks over there and that, keep them stories up because we do a shark watch every week, shark and crop watch. So if you've got any stories of shark attacks over there, keep them with you, mate.
Well,
We
I'll
use
let
them.
you know, mate.
Harry Muck's a bit
Yeah.
disappointed, Kieran, because he hasn't seen anything from Beaver Watch for a while as well. He wants to get back on the Beaver Watch. Jay, before
Right,
you
lads.
go, if you
Yeah,
don't
go
mind
on.
asking this one here from Gary's, does anyone else think it's been our worst season ever, this, especially with the squad?
Do you know what
It's
this
been
is
dire.
with? Yeah, this has been I've gone past frustration. I've gone past disappointment. I've gone past anger. I've never been as sad as a West Ham fan as I have been this season for so many reasons. I'm not just talking about on the pitch. I'm talking about everything that's happening to our wonderful club. It really feels like we're at a really dire time, which is why I actually shout out to Hammers United, Invicta Hammers, and all them wonderful people that are standing up for us. Thousands of West Ham fans, they're all over probably millions. They're actually doing something about it because this season, what is on the pitch is just a reflection of what's going on off the pitch, which is more catastrophic for me at the minute than it's ever been in our lifetime. So, God willing, something changes because it has been the worst experience this year of being a West Ham fan for me.
Just before you go, the last one, Harry's also asking, whereabouts in Spain are you? I used to live in Palma, Mallorca.
Costa del Sol. So, and I've had the privilege. Anytime I've connected and they've come over to Malaga, the people, and you'll know who you are. You've been to my house for barbecue. So, if anyone's ever over in Spain, I love being around West Ham. I'm not just saying that. I put my number up on every show. I want to connect with people because God fucking knows that's what, as West Ham fans, we need to be doing more than ever at the minute. Is keeping the West Ham way alive and keeping that connection with each other because they're trying to chip away at it.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Bang on.
Mm.
Boys,
Jay,
thank
thanks
you
for
so
being with
much.
us.
Come and you fucking irons. Pleasure, boys.
Nice
Absolute
one,
pleasure.
Jay.
All the best, mate. You have a good
Take care.
Cheers,
evening.
lads.
Take
Bye.
care, mate.
Cheers.
Stay safe.
And that was Jay from that West Ham channel. So don't forget, if you haven't already, go to see his channel, share, like, and subscribe as always, please. Usual saying, Billy Bonds, capped twice for the England under-23s, but never played at senior level.
Yeah.
Well,
Weirdly enough.
Yeah. Good evening, Phil. Hope you will. Evening all. Absolutely going there. And they just come down on the chat. Where is it there?
It's a funny comment from David coming up.
Okay. Steve said, although next season could be worse, mate. It's very true. Steve saying, who needs Spain and Australia when you've got Sonny Guildford?
Sonny Guildford, what would it say? Beautiful.
Brilliant. Good evening to our friend as well, Uncle Rod's TV. How are we, guys? We're doing very well, Uncle.
Rod.
Hope you are as well. Hope you're keeping well, mate. And congrats again on Liverpool winning the Prem. And hello to Sean Troj. Sorry, that's not fresh, is it? Welcome to Troj. When you went for a swim, you noticed hammerhead sharks shadowing you. Hammerhead sharks. Harry's saying, not the worst season. I've lived through relegations. Yeah, that's true. We've been there as well. That's magic. Yeah, that tattoo is magic, Mark was saying as well. Yeah, I hope it wasn't Graham Potter put that tattoo on your back. Harry's saying Guildford's lovely, Steve. And that's where old Fuzzy's from, around the area, Guildford.
Is it? It's not too far from me. It's only like 35 miles from me.
Mark was saying 80s when we're ultimate the yo-yo team cause. Yeah, wasn't we? Bloody hell. Harry, when I'm asleep, it is. Yeah, Guildford's nice when you're asleep.
I tried touching something there, guys. I'm gone.
Oh, no, you're there. Still see you.
Are you still here?
Still with us, mate. Can you hear us?
Sorry, Mark. So it went all dark, my screen there for a second.
Oh, no. We see it kind of tilt one way or the other, but you're still with us. Good evening to Damien as well.
2 seconds, guys.
No worries, mate. Message me, you slag. Irons, Potter and Kieran in, he's saying. Usual saying, the Stranglers, the original name was the Guildford Stranglers. Bloody hell, I'm not surprised that's the Guildford Stranglers. Yeah. David Shear, yeah, Kieran Boyer from Bassendean, an absolute horror. Oh, man. There is saying, Aldous Huxley is a brave new world, finishing the Surrey Hills of Guildford. Big up the Forest Gate as well.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, Mama's laughing at all this as well. Evening, GP. Good to see you as well. He's waving to all of us. Steve saying, I remember my old man putting a cordless kettle on the electric hob and wondering why it built.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Oh,
Did some wonderful things back in the day. Yeah, parents.
yeah.
Harry's waving to each other.
Oh, a nice fresh cup of tea, boys. I had to have it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Evening,
I'm out
GP.
of drink as well, so I'm going to quickly go and grab one. Won't be a second.
Knitted tea through.
Why does it keep doing that?
10 men at the back saying they were proper scarves Nam made. Yes. Yeah, I've still got one from all them years ago and all. They're saying like each other, which is always good. Let's catch up.
Oh,
Good evening to West Ham United 58. I'll never get my mum coming home with 2 tickets for the 1975 FA Cup final, courtesy of Mick McGivern.
wow. Fucking great story, man. Mick McGivern. There's a name, mate.
But that's how things were back in the day, wasn't it? You know, players were down to earth with the fans and doing stuff like that. Now,
Yeah, it's a whole new world now, isn't it? It's not one that, as an older fan, I particularly like. I think I've always said it since the Premier League started. The player power's got too much these days. The wages have got too much. You know, it's spoiling the game.
Yeah.
And they never take responsibility for it, players. It's always blamed on the owners and everyone else. That's fair enough. But these players got to look at themselves sometimes at the wages they demand through their fucking agents. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense.
well, yeah, because you look at the silly money that they make, the agents alone, not just the player. I think they were showing you one last year. Well, one player, I think he got like 6 million just for a signature.
Yeah. Look what England's cost us. I mean, millions and millions and millions of pounds. For what? What did we get out of them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I suppose
We got nothing. It's crazy.
We didn't do a deal with Evan Ferguson because that'd be even worse.
Yeah. You know, it's just so much. And, you know, when you talk about ticket prices and everything else, fucking hell, mate, look at these players, man. How can it be cheaper for the people going if you're having to pay out them kinds of monies on your
And
players?
it's just going up and up and up all the time.
Yeah, never going to stop, dude. Never going to stop. And if you put in if they brought in a wage cap, say for the Premier League, oh no, that players' union would be straight onto it. No, they wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's damaging.
I mean, I think every one of us here on the panel now could name the first £1 million player. Yeah?
I think that was Trevor Francis.
It certainly was Trevor Francis. Now, I wonder if any of us can name the first £1 million a week player.
£1 million a week?
Yes. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
It's going to happen one day. And it ain't that far away. I mean, look, Man United are paying people like Rashford 350k a week. And he ain't getting games for Man United. He's playing for bloody Villa at the moment. You know.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
It's going to be £1 million a week wages for each player. Well, for some of the top players one day in the near future.
Well, you wouldn't surprise me if it's Ronaldo already. I mean, he must be on that when he went to the Saudi League. Near it, surely.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so.
Yeah,
Madness.
I said it's just stupid, and
It's just
Anyway.
ridiculous.
we're just going to sit at home and watch it from there, which is going to. Unfortunately, that's where it's going, as we're saying. Damien,
we-
apparently, Kieran, you're his internet dad.
Do you hear that,
Uh,
Kieran?
No, I missed that. I mean, a big truck just went by.
Oh,
Damien's saying that you're his internet dad.
I can't hear. Why can't I hear very well?
apparently you're Damien's internet dad.
Oh, sorry, I weren't looking at the car. Hi, Damien. Yeah, I'll tell him off for being so bloody rude. It's the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, because you never swear at all, Kieran. No. David's saying Hank Marvin is in Perth too, Budgie. We still get all the convicts like the arse off. He's saying.
Hank Marvin. Oh my God.
GP saying West Ham fans are the most progressive fans. Millwall fans won't even drink pink champagne. Steve Bill saying Jay's a top fella. Yeah, he's a good guy. He is. Damien saying apathetic beyond words this season. Yes, very true. Troger saying I agree, but it's all of football as well as hammers, which makes me sad. Yeah, this is the thing. At least it's not just one place. It's quite standard across the board these days.
Yeah, I mean, really and truly, Liverpool were kind of champions elect from about week 8. It just everything was just kind of like, I don't know. It was all kind of like there was just no excitement in the whole season for me. I didn't.
No.
You know, I didn't get excited about one game. You know, I mean, like normally when you think of like maybe Liverpool, Man City or something, you know, you kind of like look forward to those games because they're usually a humdinger, aren't they? But this season they just seem to be damp squib. You know, they just weren't at the races. And I think Liverpool kind of cruised it this year. And fair play to them. Fair bloody play to them. I wouldn't be complaining if it was West Ham that had done it.
No, of course.
But yeah, I really don't think anyone else was really at the races this year, to be fair.
Well, you just got to look at the table, Budgie. I mean, the table doesn't lie. You know, when you think about it, we got down on 42 points one time.
Yeah.
Now that's mid-table this season. You know, you've got Southampton finish on 12 points, and even you think, even though Liverpool's on 80 odd points, Arsenal's only on 67, I think it is, or 66 points. That's poor in comparison. That's normally kind of like, you know, 2-3 months before the season even finishes, you're on them kind of points. But this season, it's not the same. That's for sure.
But when you've got 3 teams that come up are just not competitive, that doesn't help. And you'll probably survive this year on 25 points, 26 points. Could be something like that you survive on, which is crazy. What did we go down with? 43, something like that.
42 or something, 43, something like that. That's mad, isn't it?
Ridiculous,
Absolutely mad. But that sums the season up altogether, really. Well said there, saying there. Damien's saying for sure, fan bases have come together more this season. Well, I mean, Kieran just said it, innit? I mean, the ticket prices are, you know, we know the shit we've had from our lot.
Yeah.
But that's a standard all over. Cheers, Jay. They're saying like with him. Roger's saying, why do humans eventually ruin everything? Budgie just jumped off altogether for some reason. I don't know if you realised. Where's he gone? Budgie's disappeared. He's back in again. Where'd you go? What did you
My screen went really dark. So
Mine's
I just
doing that.
touched the screen and I ended up being chucked out. So
Yeah, that's Geezer, that's what's happening to mine. Every minute or so, my screen's going dark.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the very bottom of my screen, and it like now it just went dark again. Right
I think if you
now it's
actually,
back. Don't know why it is.
if you touch the screen where your picture of you is, that one, it'll bring the screen back up, but it won't kick you out of the channel. I've just tested it while I was talking to you.
Fair enough.
Just touch. I've just got to touch me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just touch your own face. Yeah, just touch
Yeah.
yourself a little.
I just touch yourself. I know. I'm sorry about that.
I know a story about that. He said.
GP saying Bonds was selected around 82 by Ron Greenwood, but then got injured. Yeah, that's it. It was a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, mate. Yeah, he never made it. He didn't get his chance.
Nah. Yeah, which is kind of reminiscent, if you think about it, of Dean Ashton, isn't it? Same thing. Could have made it in England, and a legend for us as well.
Yeah.
Taken out too early. There's Jay's channel for those who haven't already gone to subscribe to him.
Yeah, g'day, Mama.
Hi, Mama, and thank you for everything you do with your modding, by the way, babe. The thing I was going to say about that was that when we have a player like Dean Ashton, for example, whose career was cut unexpectedly short through injury and stuff, as a fan base, we still revere him as a club hero because we know what he was capable of and stuff. A lot of teams don't do that with their players that have had their careers finished early. You know, they just completely like forget about them as if they never happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, I forgot he played for us." You know, mate, that guy was on cue for being a top player for you guys, and you forgot that he played for you. You know, it makes me laugh at times. Whereas at West Ham, like I said, Dean Ashton, we talk about him quite a lot as a fan base. You know, and quite fondly. You know, I don't very often hear negative talk about him. You know, and he never fulfilled his potential because of the injury.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose the fact that he got that on England duty would have been kind of easier for the fans to forgive him, if you like, because it didn't happen like on our time, as it were.
True.
So we kind of had that bit of empathy for him, you know, a little more empathy for him. I think I'm guessing, but I'm just, you know, suggesting. But you know, there are other players that have played for other teams that have ended, like Ledley King, for example, right? Tottenham fans very rarely talk about Ledley King these days, you know. And you know, while he was at Tottenham, you couldn't hear anything but the Tottenham fans talking about how good he was or the potential that he had and this and that. And you very rarely hear them talk about him now. You know?
No, that's very true. Mind you, they don't talk much about Sol Campbell as well for some particular reason, but
I think that's fairly obvious. It's written in red and white, I think, Tone.
Well, look how Liverpool treated Alexander-Arnold last week.
Oh, yeah, that's, you know,
I didn't see that.
Fucking disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
I didn't see that.
They literally
Well, while
vilified
he's
him.
still wearing a Liverpool shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They booed the shit out of him. It's disgrace.
Really?
Absolute disgrace.
You know what he's done for him and that, and also, you know,
20 odd years.
And it's like, you know, you're leaving us to go there, kind of thing. But as I've always said, players, it's a short career, so you look to try and play at the highest level possible. He's done that with Liverpool. Now he's looking at a new chapter for himself, and why not?
That's a player that's won everything you can win with Liverpool.
Exactly.
Since he was 8 years of age, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And yet they can't give him a good send off. You know, good luck. You know, Real Madrid, right? It's a player's dream to go there. You know, why wouldn't you give him a good send off instead of booing him? It's disgusting.
Why wouldn't you take some pride in the fact that your club, the club that you love, has produced a player that has been wanted by these kinds of clubs? You know, I mean, like we've got Declan Rice that we kind of can look at and go, look, you know, we got a huge amount of money for him. All right, it was a local rival, which was a bit of pill to swallow. I get that. But had that have been Real Madrid or Barcelona or Juventus or someone like that paying that
Even
kind
better,
of money, mate, we'd have bollocks the size of footballs right now as a fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
we
true.
would be like, yeah, we got £105 million for an academy player, you know, basically. Yeah, it's just weird the way it works.
No,
Really,
it's true.
really weird.
It's true. Mama, yes, thanks very much for putting the links up as always. Much appreciated. And they're saying loads to each other there. Michael B's Prem, Liver Bird League Cup, Magpies FA Cup, Eagles Europa Cup, Cox. Yeah, just kind of so Liver Birds, Magpies, and obviously Cox. There's a few other words we use, but yeah.
Well, no, but they've got a cock and ball story up on their roof anyway, haven't they?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Harry's saying, "Come towards the light, Kieran. Come towards the light."
I've got the sun coming up, mate, to the back of my head there.
Yeah, you can see it there coming on. Yeah, Guildford is the yep. Yeah, you're right, Gary. You can't take anyone these days. It's a bit of a weird old one. Yeah, the bloody chat's jumped again. Fucking chat. It works well, and then suddenly decides to shoot up.
Ooh, trying to get away from the sun. Oh, it
Right,
keeps
so,
going off.
Anyway,
Weird.
listen, we've been going for a couple of hours now. We haven't mentioned the upcoming Ipswich game.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. That's why.
Yeah, I'm kind of not confident of a result now. You know,
yeah, I get that because Ipswich have got nothing to play for, so they can go all out basically.
Why not go out and take out an ex-European champion with them? Kind of thing. Might as well take us down while they're on their way out, as it were.
Yeah.
Final shot in the gut before you walk out. You know, it could be one of those, couldn't it? Quite easily. You know, but then it could be another complete drubbing like it was when we played them at home. What was that, 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. But
I think that's the highest scoring game with us for us in the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, this season.
Yeah.
Against the relegate.
Can't wait to get rid of it this season. Jesus.
Yeah.
Absolutely
shocking. But you know, we've got one or two players on the Ipswich team sheet that we should be concerned about as well. I mean, that young Rory Delap, clearly he's going to be spoken about quite a lot in the build up to the game, and I suppose we should give him a mention because clearly he is a threat, probably the biggest threat in their side. But he's got some decent players around him feeding the ball to him as well. So, you know, we've got one or two, concerns that we should be looking at. But I'm just not confident that we're going to deal with it. Yeah, I don't think West Ham at this moment in time have got it in them to.
What I do like about Ipswich, that Kieran McKenna, great name by the way, Kieran McKenna. Even though the team's not good enough, he plays good football in that team. They are quite good to watch, Ipswich, when they're playing, when they go forward and that. They're good. They've just not got the quality of player they need to survive it. But he's a coach I'd keep an eye on, mate, because I like him. Yeah. I like the way he sets up. I like the way they play football and try to play it. I'd be quite happy with that guy at West Ham, style of football he plays.
Not bad
Shy
shout, mate.
for the attacking.
Because if you remember at the beginning of the season when they got promoted, there was about 3 clubs that was looking to gain his services, and he actually then stayed at Ipswich. So when you look at that, he is a good coach. There's no two ways about it. But the club itself, they're owned by a bunch of multi-millionaires, and you thought they would have got it right, but I suppose they was being very cautious, so they deserve to go back down again. But not a bad shout, Kieran. He's not a bad manager. But I've always said it. I like Thomas Frank myself. I'd take him.
Yeah.
George is asking, is it true Antonio wants more wages, not less?
I don't know.
I've heard there's a bit of a stumbling block somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Probably needs to replace his Ferrari.
Yeah, Jesus. It could be that, yeah. Look,
He's not very good with Italian cars, let's be honest, right? He's put the Lamborghini into someone's house dressed as the snowman, and now he's put a Ferrari into a tree after training. So he's not very good with Italian supercars, is he? Let's be fair. Let's get him a Daewoo Matiz or something.
Yeah, the old Daewoo Matiz, bloody hell.
Do you remember them?
I remember them. Or the big hoo-ha about Daewoo and that, and then I think they went under, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Damon saying Bowles' agent supposedly made 10 million plus when he went to Madrid. You know, see, agent fees, bloody hell, man.
Yeah.
So it looks like, they're saying about
I wonder what Declan Rice's dad made then, or brother. No, it's dad.
His brother, wasn't it? He knows his
his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what his brother made out of that deal. It's got to be 10%, isn't it? Surely.
Got to be, isn't it?
Done all right.
With that, even if it was 5%, it's still bad, isn't it? Organic milk from Tony's Nipples. Bloody hell, GP. Thank you very much, sir.
I'll tell you what, I do worry about that GP. He's got a funny, strange brain on him.
David saying, Troz, should be a squad member's salary. I think pay as you play is disrespectful, though. This is obviously about Antonio because they're talking about, doing like an Andy Carroll with him. Pay as you play. So this is probably where the money thing comes into it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Francis, the £1 million player. Yeah, he knew that one, he's saying. He should take reduced terms, I thought. Yeah, Antonio, I mean, at the end of the day, he's done well for us, but it's his age factor that's going to be the thing, isn't it?
You've got to look at the players knocking on the head this year, right? If you look at De Bruyne who's walking away from City, you're looking at Joel Ward at Palace, been there for 13 years, about the same age as Antonio. Jamie Vardy knocking on the head, around the same age as Antonio. When your time's up, your time's up. And I can't believe that Antonio could ever come back and be the player he was. He wasn't that player before he had the accident. It was time to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So I don't see a way back for him myself. If you can get a championship team to take you, do that.
And this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, it just shows you the difference in the mindset. Because at least with Vardy, he's gone out not only on a high, but also with respect, because he's literally he's 500th game, 200 goals, and that's it for me. Perfect ending for him, wasn't it? Scoring that goal, delighted for him. Yeah, exactly. But as I said, players are only in for a short term. If Antonio's trying to look out for a bit more money, then he's got to be a bit more realistic with himself. Yes, we've stood by him, we've helped him out. Now you've got to look at yourself and think to yourself, okay, I'm 34 now, going to be 35 of the season after. I can't do much else. Yeah. And as you said, Kieran, he has struggled in certain games the last couple of seasons. So be realistic. He won't be, though. Players are players, I suppose.
And going back to the Jamie Vardy thing, Tone, what I did like was when he was being interviewed on his pitch walk, he was being interviewed by that woman from TNT Sports or whatever it is, and she says, "What does all this mean to you?" And he said, more importantly, what does it mean to them? You know, and I thought that was a real nice touch from Vardy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's more important to him what it meant to the people in the stands, in the seats. You know,
Yeah.
so,
Humble, isn't it? Being humble.
yeah, you know, and to think he came from, you know, more or less a pub team
Not,
and
not bad.
became
Not bad,
that.
I think. Not
You
bad
know,
at all. David Shears asking Kieran, are you in Eastern Australia?
Yeah, who's that? David. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's in Australia, isn't he, David?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm in Brisbane, David. I'm in Brisbane. So we're on the East Coast, yeah.
GP saying even the season when we got relegated under Brooking in Feroda was better. Yeah, at least Brooking did something, didn't he? That's for sure.
It's just the apathy, I think, isn't it, set in this season? It's been really apathetic, and it's like as soon as you stop caring about the next game, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans have gone that way, haven't they? Just don't really care.
I think, dare I say, I think the West Ham fan base, myself included, I think we're kind of guilty of our own expectation. We had 3 great years where we were playing European football. We had top 8 finishes. We were looking really good. People were talking about our counter-attacking style with respect, and we started getting spoken about with a little bit more respect in the general media and stuff like that, and things were looking really good. And then all of a sudden, we're not in Europe anymore. We're falling down the league like stone, and the worst of it is that we're unsettled in the coach or managerial position. We're unsettled, kind of, we're victims of our, we're kind of victims of our own success or victims of our own expectation. And I think, this season we kind of got what we deserved, really.
100%.
As a fan base.
I think Damien's kind of summed it up in a nutshell here. I think the league lacks identity, which is exciting but unusual. No one dominating too much anymore. Top 6 is not set in stone. Just don't want us to become the bottom feeders through no fear of relegation, as he's put on there as well, which is, I think, is a perfect shout, really.
Yeah.
David said, David Shear saying, media has ruined world sport, TV money, and the dreadful pundits. Yeah, they're even worse these days. Player initiative and players taking responsibility is decreased. Yeah, because they think they are gods. The silly wages they're on. Ray saying they come up there. The first £1 million player won't happen until a multi-continental league is launched. Good shout. Off to change his bag now, how he's saying?
I found this on the web for why is that? Now.
Bloody Siri, get out of it. Jesus. Off to change his bag. I touched by it. Look, here they go with the songs again.
Yeah, he knows the song. See that? I touched myself by the Divinals. Yeah.
That's it.
Good Australian girl that passed away a few years ago.
Oh, bloody hell.
Good track. I actually got to see her once.
Nice.
Yeah, love D National. Yeah, I think, like I say, just a shame we missed out on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, indeed, you're correct with they were Aussies. Yeah, it was Aussie, I think. Kieran's just alluded to that one as well.
They were, Howard.
Damien saying Andy Carroll is the one whose unfulfilled potential pains me more. Yeah,
mate. It's the injury after injury, wasn't it? It's just a shame.
Yeah.
Cost him a lot of money as well, didn't he?
And yet he's still out there smashing goals in. Fair play to him.
David Shears said they were Christy Amphlett. The singer died Too young, Harry.
Yeah,
There you
Chrissy
go.
Anthony. That's it, David.
Yeah. Ray saying, "Don't touch the screen. You might get an American religious channel." Look, David Shear saying, "Ledley King, what a hero!" Yeah. And big up to Anthony Herbert. Big up, lads. Hope you will. All good,
Good evening,
Anthony.
Anthony.
All good, mate. All
Yeah.
good. Hey, here we go. Look, he's in there. David Shear. Anthony, North London is white cobber. Laugh be arse off.
Yeah, mate. Anthony be delighted. Delighted. From Big Ends. Big Ends, mate.
Brendan saying, "All good, Harry. I was here at the start, but then watched paint dry for a long while, but returned." Oh man. Damon saying, "Difference is Deck earned us 100 million. Trent is walking on a free. I wouldn't be happy. Hate to say it, but I think about these things. I get that point. I suppose, like everything else, if you won that much, is the money the thing? I mean, you know, the player's thinking of himself. Is he thinking of the club?
No, if they can't fucking nail him down to a contract, that's down to the club.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I
mean? Yeah.
You mean that's the way I look at it. That's down to the club, not him. All right, that's them to tell him when he had a couple of years on his contract, or make sure that he couldn't walk. They fucked up. West Ham have just walked, turned around to Sue Fowl, fucking Cresswell and Fabianski, then see you later. You know what I mean? They've got the power to do that. Why can't the fucking player do that? So I'll defend Arnold on that. That's down to the club to make sure. They should have sold him 2 years ago then if they thought this was going to happen. It's not his fault.
Take the money out of it and run. Yeah. Harry's saying, "Good evening, Anthony. I thought I saw a red setter taking a shit in the back of a Ford Zodiac in the car park." Hello, he's moved on to Fords now.
Ford Zodiac. I loved the Ford Zodiac.
Ford Zodiac.
I had a V6 Ford Zodiac. Oh, it was great.
Oh, man. This is painful.
With the old clone
Zodiac,
engine.
Isn't the one with the old bonnet was about 3 miles long?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and like when you hit the brakes, it took about 30 seconds for the shoes to actually reach the drums. Because springs were always fucked on the drum brakes. Yeah, so you don't go over 40 mile an hour in them. So weighed about 400 ton, you know. It's like stopping an oil tanker in the North Sea. It was, I swear to God.
Half a mile down the road, you come to a stop. Funny enough, I remember my old sales manager. I think he said they used to have they had the estate versions of them.
Yeah.
And on a Friday, they'll do the Kent run, and it'll be flying along the road. Next minute, the bonnet will fly up, hit the wheel, come flapping up with the windscreen. You'd have to slam on the anchors, bonnet come back down again, and away you go again. And it is a constant battle between. Oh man. Andy's saying, "David, I'm still fucking pissed about that Tottenham one."
Yeah, I bet you are. Anyway, at least one highlight for West Ham, Anthony, is we beat Arsenal.
Yeah, he remembers that one. David Shear saying, "Appreciate the channel, Tony, and all the great channel, much like Jose's LTL." Thank you very much, David, and it's always good to have you on board as well. Love your interaction as always.
Hey, what's that? Because you're amazing, eh? Daniel,
Jose
just mentioned Northern New South Wales, or mid New South Wales, mate. We got beautiful weather here up in Brisbane. They're fucking flooded to fuck.
Oh, really?
They had 3 days of rain there. One area, Taree, it got 450 millimetres of rain in 3 days. Wow. There's houses under. There's about 3 or 4 people dead. Fucking hell, mate. The place is a disaster zone. So, yeah, shout out to them poor fucking
millimetres. Jesus.
Yeah, 3 days, Peter.
That's almost like 18 inches.
Yeah, unbelievable. Mate, it was, it's up to the rooftop. Some of the houses underwater. All the banks broken, the rivers. Yeah, you see the helicopters pulling people off roofs everywhere and boats going out there to try and rescue people. Yeah, really bad. That's 6-7 hour drive away from me.
Bloody hell, man.
Just shows you. Anyway,
Yeah, because obviously, well, we don't expect rain to be really in Australia, do you? Because you think it's a little bit, and that's it. But hearing all that, and lives being lost in it, you don't expect that's obviously not
yeah,
good news.
terrible thing, mate.
Yeah, horrible.
But I mean,
And the clean-up, when it does subside, the clean-up is massive.
oh,
You know?
it'll be
Your
yeah.
house is fucked.
Because
Yeah.
I remember
It's really bad.
when we went out to when I got married out in the Dominican, my mum was poorly before we went away and nearly didn't go. And each day I phone up and see how my mum was, and then all of a sudden, like about the third day in, my old man asked me all these various questions and that, are you okay, this and the other, and I think to myself, what are you asking? What's the matter? What's wrong? And he says, well, you got flooding out there, and all of a sudden I said, no, we've had some heavy rain, which we did. But the other end of the island is Haiti, and literally they had like monsoons there, and of course, because
Oh, wow.
they're so poverty stricken that way, they literally chopped down all the trees for cooking their food and heating, their property and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there was a village that was in an old dry riverbed. Of course, the floods came along and that and virtually fucking wiped them out. I think they lost 3,000 people in the floods. And
Wow.
what was interesting,
Terrible.
we went out on a boat tour and that, and the bloke was saying the next day the Dominican people went to Haiti to help them out. It took 2 weeks before international rescue came along to help them all out.
Typical.
Yeah.
Absolutely typical. And I bet that was initiated by holiday companies.
More than likely, mate. More than likely, yeah. They were saying
Wouldn't have been initiated by any of our governments, that's for sure.
Oh, not this one anyway. Players ain't raised to be defensive or creative anymore. I've taken kids to academies. It's all possession. Anything that looks creative or like they are taking a chance is coached out of players. Yeah. Because don't forget, they want you to enjoy the football now, Damien. You can't kick a player anymore. You want to enjoy it. Steve's saying good night. He's obviously he's off. Thanks, Steve, for being with us. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Stevie. Nice to see you, mate. Do you think, guys, that I've just actually had a thought, with that last comment about, being players being coached out of playing, basically, or whatever. I've had a thought, though. Do you think that because of the current climate that we have, where in things like school sports days and that, it doesn't matter where you come, you get a medal or a prize for competing and all that. Do you think that's sort of creeping slowly into football? This don't matter where you finish, Yeah, basically, what I'm saying is are we heading towards like an Americanized static league where there is no relegation, there is no promotion?
I think at the moment it's still going to have the relegation and the promotion side of things. Don't think it's going to come out of our game. I think the only difference being is when you look at the new format of the Champions League, that kind of goes that kind of route, and it's the fact that in certain respects, if you look at the bigger picture, it is literally a glorified way of that Super League that it was open to do in the first place.
Yeah.
All I think you'll see is maybe next year, or if it's not next year, possibly the year after, you'll see changes again, and it'll be literally a Super League.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I think for them to impose, I'm going to use that word carefully, but to impose the Super League upon Europe would mean that there is no promotion or relegation from it. Every year you'll know which teams are going to be in it because it won't depend on the way they were talking. It won't depend on where you finish in the league. You know, like for example, if Tottenham had got into it, even though they're finishing below us this season, hopefully, you know, they would still have, you know, been in this Super League thing because they were one of the teams that voted to go into it.
Mm.
All right.
What's going on there?
What's he doing? Fucking gymnastics in there or something, is he?
Yeah, he's on Oh dear. While he comes back in again, Mama's saying Man United were interested in McKenna, and he's back again. He's with us. And also, Haaland's dad got 30 million when he signed for City.
Agnos is that? Don't know how you got that.
Harry's saying about obviously Antonio. I've driven through Epping Forest and that very road while getting a blowy. Let me tell you, it's not easy, even in a Ford or Ryan. Yeah, Epping High Road, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah, because you've got literally trees and that all around you. There's, I think, the particular area. He was quite lucky because there was a big old tree stump or a tree uprooted, and that he could have easily ended up in there.
Mate, he's just lucky to be alive, let alone him walking.
Oh,
people
mate, yeah.
talking about the future of his career and whatnot. He's lucky he's alive. Still, I suppose that's a testament to the build of the car.
Can we not cane Antonio though? Well, I'm sure they can do something with him. Excuse me. You saying when Rice went, his family finished up with between 5 and 8 million. So the story goes.
Yeah, well, they might as well have it as some other agent. So.
And he's saying, bloody hell, Tony, you're like Budgie beyond in the chat.
Yeah, all right, mate. Jokes. Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
It's about the money gets sounded out. He won't read that until tomorrow, Anthony. Mother's joined in the jokes as well. David saying, nice, Kieran. It's Esperance, Western Australia on the 5th East Coast. Best beaches in Australia and a lot of sharks too. Yeah, he knows that one.
Yeah.
He's in Western Australia.
Yeah, David, if you watch us on West Ham Network on a Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock or Thursday morning for you at 8 o'clock, is it, Kieran? We start at the moment.
No, 7.
7
Keep getting that
morning for you, yes. See, I do that. It's because of our clock. Our clocks are fucking terrible.
When you hit that, when your clock's changed, then it'll be 8 in the morning for me. Not until then.
Yeah, do you know what I should do? I should actually set my clock on the wall for Aussie time.
Yeah, it looked like a trading house, wouldn't it? All the different clocks and times of the world.
I'll have one on California time, one on bloody Europe time, one on England's time, one on Australia time.
Yeah. The only reason that we go from 9 hours to 10 hours because everyone else does it in Australia, but bar Queensland, we won't do the clock change. Daylight saving. Queensland won't do it. They tried it for 1 year, Geezer. It was fantastic because it meant what that meant was in the summer, instead of getting light at 4:30, it got light at 5:30. And then instead of getting dark at 7:30, it got dark at 8:30. And that was even better to have longer evenings. And you don't need the sun up at 4:30 in the morning. Believe me, when it comes through the window, I'm going, for fuck's sake. I could do without that.
Blackout curtains.
So it worked perfectly, but the farmers kicked up a fuss about it. For whatever reason, their curtains were fucking getting faded or something like that. They went, no, all right, then we won't bother.
Hold on, bear with me.
No, I was going to catch up the chat anyway. We've got a chance. Fresh said, MR too early. Have I missed Croc Watch?
You're on the wrong show for that, Geezer. You're on the wrong show.
You say, Mum, if I win the Euros Friday night, I'll make sure you're looked after. That's very kind of him. Yeah, pundits are all for this. There's a lot of them are a little shot and all biased. You're not wrong there, Damien. That's for sure. Yeah, Damien said, Fresh. Yeah, you're wrong show, pal.
Yeah, you tell him, Damien. Tell him. My boys told him.
your boy. Very kind of that. Terence saying, thanks for a fantastic show panel. Emma's chatting, having a laugh. Thanks, night. Terence, as always, appreciate you being with us.
Yeah, Terence, good lad.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him on the show, but he says he's hasn't got a clue how to get on this, unfortunately. Ray saying, Trevor Francis, 1 million transfer was superseded by Tony Daly. Wolves to Man City. Malcolm Allison, West Ham legend, was manager. Malcolm Allison, yeah.
Good Allison, eh?
Oh, I know, and I fucking love it, Anthony. That's obviously about the North London, as always.
Yeah, mate. They've had something to cheer for the first time in such a long time.
17 years for them. Yeah.
The floods are too far south, Freshy. There's no crocs down there, mate.
GP's asking, have you guys signed that petition by Claret and Big Boobs?
No, I wouldn't know how to. It's true.
I haven't seen it because I know it's been flashed around. At the weekend was a lot of it going on. I know a lot of people signed up for it. I think I did at one point, or I hope I hit the right button. David was saying, yes, Kieran, and we have draft on the other side of the country. Sorry, drought on the other side of the country.
Yes, but I mean, God, what Esperance to Brisbane is a long way away. It's a bit like London to New York. Ain't that far off there.
Bloody hell, man. He's also saying, yeah, a lot of the floods past few years, some places every 2 years, terrible.
Yeah, it's been bad, man. Really bad.
Flip-floppers crib.
Because Queensland's, the tourist board's motto for Queensland is beautiful one day, perfect the next. But they forget to mention the floods and the fucking bushfires.
Yeah, you're not supposed to notice them.
Don't mention them. It's not good for tourism. Don't mention them. Don't mention the war.
Don't mention the war. GP said, if I had 30 million, I'll get Kieran and Budgie on this channel permanent and piss off for us.
I'll take the 30 mil, geezer. Don't worry about that. I will be bribed. Not a problem.
Harry saying, if I had 30 mil, GP, I'd be taking us all to eat at Seb's Shemmel's restaurant. Oh, what a great shout.
Well, that's a better idea, Howard.
What a great shout. Yeah, look, there's also usual saying a good call as well. Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys, by the way. My dog went nuts. The police were at the door. Apparently somebody's car got broken into and wanted to know if I'd seen anything.
As long as it weren't yours, mate, that's the main thing.
No, that's it.
I'm 2 hours behind Kieran. Bloody hell. Harry's saying a live old school Hammers TV mashup from the restaurant. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Dot from James. Yeah, I wonder why he ain't come on. I've sent the link out, but no sign of him. Interesting. David Shears saying they were Christian died too. Have I?
Yeah.
See, it's done it again. This bloody chat. It's shot back again. Fuck me. I don't know why it does this.
All right, boys. I better let you finish your show and do your thing. And
I'm going to need to get off myself.
Catch you next week, Budgie. And whenever, Tony. Thanks for having me on, sir.
Kieran, it's been a pleasure, mate, as always. And keep up the good work with the crop watching that. And say Harry's still waiting for Beaver. He wants the Beaver.
Yeah. And we can only hope that a surfer gets fucking chewed up during the week, so we've got something to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very nice, is it? But it's good for content.
Open up Mr. Pigs.
It'd be good if a golfer gets chewed up by a salty. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Chat. In the chat. Thank you very much.
Before you go, Kieran, this last we're going to wrap up as we said anyway. Anthony's gone. If Tony, Kieran, and Budgie played in defence for West Ham, there'd be a combined age. It'd be called Project Youth.
Good days are over, right?
Kieran, you legend.
Always good to see you, Kieran, buddy. I'll chat to
Yeah.
you in the next
And
few
you boys.
days or so.
Yeah,
It's nice
thank
to
you,
wake up to two friendly faces. And thanks to Jay, he's a nice lad. Isn't he?
No, you're
Nice
welcome,
lad.
mate. Pleasure having you on, mate, and enjoy the rest of your day as well, Kieran. Look after yourself.
All the best. Yeah. All the best, chaps.
Take
Take
care,
it
son.
easy. Ta-da, mate. And yes, we are going to wrap up ourselves as well.
Yep.
Thanks for being with us still. And Budgie, as always, been a pleasure.
Mate, it's always a pleasure to do the show with you.
Been a laugh, this one as well.
Look, I'm going to lose myself in a minute. Look, I'll start doing fucking gymnastics again. But I don't know why it does it. It only does it with this streaming service. It don't do it with Restream or StreamYard, only with this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. I
interesting.
don't know why.
Yeah, and obviously there's Budgie's channel on there as well. So again, if you haven't
Oh,
already,
bless your mummy. You're an angel.
Frog saying, "Take care, Kieran," and Fresh is saying, "I thought he'd never leave." And thanks, guys. Mama, as always, been a pleasure. Thank you much for your time. And people in the chat, thanks for being with us. And yep, let's get Budgie up on the subs as well. I'm still trying to get onto the road to 1,000. If he gets there, he gets there. If he don't, he don't. Simple as.
I'm sure we'll get you there, Ton. I'm sure we'll get you there, mate.
Ray saying, Budgie, did you get that signed autograph when you got from the knock from the police?
No, it weren't Sting and these boys. No, it weren't that police.
Superb. But yes, people, thanks for being with us and that. Possibly back on the weekend for the Sunday night takeaway. And of course, before we go, who's going to be our Green Street Elite for next week, Budge?
Oh, that's a good shout, mate. We haven't actually discussed this yet. Hang on. I have got a list of people that the chat suggested a few weeks back.
Thanks,
Let
Frog.
me just check on which booklet it's in. It's not that one because that's empty. And it's this one. So we've just done Billy Bonds, who was put in. Yeah, we moved him in, didn't we, because of the illness. We've done Paolo Di Canio, haven't we?
Cheers, Eric. You've done Paolo Di Canio. Thanks,
Right.
Harry.
So, actually, next week, and quite fittingly, our next one, so it will be number 17, will be Aaron Creswell.
Aaron Cresswell.
Fittingly, because this is his last week as a West Ham player.
Yeah.
So, yes, next week, ladies and gentlemen, a more recent Green Street Elite, one of the few remaining, in fact, one of the last, because there are no more players that will be with the team that have ever played at Upton Park. So he and Fabianski. No, Fabianski never played there, did he? Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. My apologies. Fabianski and Creswell are the two remaining players that have played at Upton Park. So maybe we could do a joint one for the two of them, Tone.
Sounds good, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, so next week, boys and girls.
Fitting tribute. Mama Flossie celebrates 5 months of membership. Much love to you all. Much love to you as well, Mama. And thank you for being with us for that period of time. Well, been with me for forever and a day, basically. Yes. But absolutely. Yeah. GP saying, I want to see Tony and Fuzzy do a 24-hour stream. God, Jesus. Yep.
Mate,
good shout, Budgie. How are you saying? Yeah, I can. We have to do shift work. I can imagine what kind of stream Frog's saying there. Harry saying Fuzzy has to wear a Donna Cullen mask as penance for choking Dan Hard last night. Dear me. But yes, we are going to wrap it up anyway. Cheers, Anthony. Good show, good panel too. And yeah, shame that James didn't join us. I say they sent the link out to him, and if he's in the chat, apologies, James. I did send it to you. I don't know why. I've just had a look at that. For some reason, I've just got a spinning circle going around on Twitter, and I've tried to redo the thing, but it's still doing the same. So I might have to kind of want to either delete the thing and put it back on again. But apologies, mate, if you haven't managed to get on. And on that note, we're just going to say goodbye. And thanks for being with us as well. And last but not last, as we always do. Oh, I've knocked my drink over. So lucky enough, it's only. That's the one thing I want to do.
He's left me hanging with the hammers. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Does it? Look, see what a drink does to you. Bloody hell, man.